Welcome everybody to episode 54 of The Effing Title. And today's guest is a long-time listener, first-time caller. I met him in college. This man could do the splits. I don't know if he can still do the splits, but he could do the splits back in the day. It is my good friend DeNutte. He's also a streamer. DeNutte, is it okay if I call you DeNutte?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell the good people a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is DeNutte. Met Husky in college, and we reconnected recently through streaming, and it's kind of been it. Everyone's struggling through the pandemic, and this is what we do. We live online now.
It is crazy how much more kind of like it feels like you're connecting with people that you either haven't talked to in a while or anything. I literally got a message recently from a friend that I grew up with in England.
Yeah, and
you're asking me if I'm okay. Like, hey, you okay? How is life? How's everything? You know, like that sort of thing. And I was like, I haven't fucking heard from you in like 2 to 3 years. Like,
and imagine, how would you have gotten a hold of them?
Oh yeah,
realistically, Facebook has really made a good comeback to see if people are still alive.
Exactly. But
today, you're not getting any younger.
No, I'm definitely not getting any younger after
that. No.
Jesus. So for today's topics, we got some very interesting ones. We have movies, mental health, and my life as a. Asked DeNutte to pick the topics. As you guys will know, I always ask the guest to pick the topics. And he asked, is it okay if we did mental health, and talked a little bit about that. And after last week's podcast, where me and Charles kind of hit on it a little bit right at the end, I thought it'd be a good one to kind of deep dive in, open up ourselves, open up a little bit, and get a little bit serious with stuff. But
yeah, and it's something that we all are all dealing with, even if you've never have. It's something that's
and that's the thing, is that I'll say it now and I'll say it when we get to it. We are not health professionals. We do not know what the fuck we're doing. We do not know what we're saying. We're just giving our experiences, how we feel, and things that we are seeing. So, if there are people out there dealing with this stuff and you do need help, look into doctors, look into free help online, look into counseling stuff, that sort of thing. We're just going to be giving kind of what we're going through, and I don't want to say everyone will be able to relate to stuff, but I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to some of the stuff that we're talking about. I know on my end anyway, I feel like I know a little bit of your end, but on my end, I know there's going to be a couple people that will relate. So
everyone's different, but we cannot give advice to everyone.
Exactly. But so starting off, movies. I know you're a big movie buff.
Well, I'm a big crappy movie buff. I love crap movies. I love if you see a trailer for a movie and you're like, that movie's gonna suck. My mouth starts watering. I love it.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa.
It's okay.
Let's go.
All right. I love it. This
my favorite. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm kind of in the same boat a little bit. Like, there's those ones where you see them and they look like shitty sci-fi movies, and then you find out it's actually like a big company doing it, and then it's like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like,
oh, so good. I just watched a World War II movie starring Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State, and it's a horror World War II movie.
Oh,
and it had me until like the last half hour, and then I was like,
"Oh, got too good."
There's a twist. So let's just say the twist. They're not in World War II. They're in the future, actually.
Oh,
so, and then there's a haunted program that takes over. It's haunted people through a program throughout the time. Thad Castle, shout out.
Thad Castle, yeah. I'll tell you what. Just speaking on him, Alan Richardson. He's doing a great job in Titans.
Oh,
he's doing a fantastic job in Titans.
Eagle?
No, it's he's Hawk.
Oh, Hawk. Yeah, Bird.
Yeah, Bird.
Bird.
But yeah, no, one of the ones recently. Well, not recently. I actually did. I don't know.
Sorry to go back. that World War II movie.
Mhm.
It stars him and then Robin.
Oh, the dude that plays Robin in Titans?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Brenton Thwaites.
Yeah, Brandon Thwaites, yeah.
Yeah,
I like him.
it's the 2 of them. Yeah, well, I like him too,
I like
but
him.
he's also in that movie
That's
as well.
awesome.
He's the lead star.
Oh. Oh, so that's how they
Yeah,
met, okay.
yeah.
Hey, we did a
That's
we
how
did
it's established.
we did a shitty sci-fi movie at one point. You wanna go do something good now on t the streaming
So let's go
service?
do this sci-fi.
Yeah.
Is comics, are they sci-fi?
Ooh.
Would you
Um,
classify them as sci-fi?
no.
Okay.
And the reason why is there, like, for instance, I'm just thinking of like Jonah Hex, for instance. There are sci-fi
Yeah.
elements to it, but it is a western.
Okay.
You know, if
Fair.
you look at Batman, Batman's more of a detective sort of thing with hints of, sci-fi mystic sort of stuff. I mean, you go right into, like Justice League Dark, for instance. That's just pure, like kind of like horror, monster sort of stuff. So I think that because when I think sci-fi, I'm thinking like space aliens fighting, and yeah, there are
Okay.
elements like that
Space
with
sci-fi.
like with like Superman, Dark Side, technically, Martian Manhunter, even the Lanterns. But I don't think you could. I guess you could categorize it as like a comic sci-fi,
Yeah.
but that's just
That's a hard one
it's
because
grasping at
it's
straws at that point for me.
well, because like if you you could say all comics are sci-fi then.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh,
Um,
Superman's in it, sci-fi. Um,
Sup
so, I don't know if you knew this or not. I actually was doing movie reviews at one point.
oh, no, I did not
And
know
by
that.
movie reviews, I mean I did one single fucking review, and
Yeah.
then I found out about how like the watch parties came out like a little bit after I was about to do the second one.
Oh, like the Amazon watch parties?
Yep. So what I did was I reviewed one movie,
Yeah.
and it was me reacting to scenes that I had already planned out,
Yeah.
and then me just talking over the parts that happen in between these scenes. So basically, like an hour and a half movie. Here's a 30-minute, 20-minute version of me giving you this is what the story is. And I did Velocipaster
What?
as my movie. As soon as Watch Party came out, I stopped doing it because they were like, "Yeah, if we see you watching movies and you're not using the Watch Party, we can ban your account, like that sort of thing." And I was like, "Well, the fuck, I don't want to lose my account, but
All right.
God, I
What was
want to."
Velocipaster about? Now I'm
Okay,
curious.
so Velocipaster. I'm gonna bring it up real quick just so I don't. Um,
Review part 2.
so I don't forget it. It's an incredible movie, I'll tell you that. After losing his
Okay.
parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. Although
Okay.
he is horrified by his new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime.
One with great power is great responsibility.
So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this. That's a small image. I'm gonna open this up on my screen so then the chat can see what it is, and I'm gonna send it to you.
How's the CGI on that?
So that's the thing. So when you say CGI,
Okay.
my response back to you is this. Um, that's a scene from the end of the movie where he is now fully
Oh.
turned into the Velocipaster.
Okay.
And he's fighting ninjas.
Yeah.
Because of course there's ninjas.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't ninjas
Um,
fight velociraptors?
yeah, but I mean, like you look at it and it's just like,
I don't know. I think they had a was it
oh.
American made?
I don't remember, dude. I just
Okay.
like
Well, it's like picking what's
one
the
of
turkey movie where the turkey was a murderer? Like
oh yeah, I know what you're talking
um
about. It's almost like rubber.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's almost like rubber with the tire that goes off killing people. Um,
Oh, I heard that one was good actually.
it's
Not kidding.
it's funny. It's funny
Okay.
because it's literally just like a tire like rolling around and killing people, and it's not like rolling over people and killing them. It's like it looks at them and starts vibrating, and they like blow up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have heard good things about that one.
well,
Like,
I mean, I tell you this, Velocipaster will make you laugh at least.
okay.
There's one part where his parents' car blows up, and so his parents are at the car. The car blows up, and then he's standing there screaming, and it goes back to the car, and I think it just says input via VFX here.
Yeah.
Like there's no car.
Oh,
This
it's they didn't finish it.
they didn't even do anything with it. They just put insert VFX here, and it was just like an empty street.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, well, do you think that was a choice?
I
Or do you think
see that's the thing is like I kind of want to think that they were meta enough to know what the fuck they were doing.
took some artistic liberties?
Exactly, you know, like them being like, "Look, this movie fucking sucks. Let's just throw this in there
Mhm.
as a laugh," like that
It'd
sort
be
of
so
thing.
funny.
I'm a thinking that it was like that, but then at the same
Okay.
time, like I could honestly see them being like, "Yeah, we're gonna get a big budget for this. It's Velocipaster."
What's like, well, they made, Machine Gun Pasture. What that wasn't that
Oh,
was not
yeah,
what it was
no,
called.
Hobo with a Machine
Uh,
Gun.
no, it was the Gerard Butler movie where he was a pastor and went to Africa to, avenge his his whole
I
congregation
mean,
died in Africa.
as of right now, you've just listed every single fucking Gerard Butler movie, basically, that he's in. Gerard
Yeah,
Butler has to go somewhere to save something and someone, and he's gonna kill people.
it's a
Um,
very, very Taken vibes now that I say it out loud.
mhm. The other one that I was gonna do, and this is when the watch parties came out. Then I got scared. I was like, shit, I don't wanna fucking Um, but it was Spaghetti Man.
I've not heard of that one.
So Spaghetti Man is like Spider Man, but instead of shooting webs out of his like wrist or whatever, there he shoots
Mhm.
spaghetti.
Is it stored spaghetti in his body?
I don't know. That's
Is
the
he
I
pasta-tarian?
I didn't watch it, but I
Okay.
saw I just
That's
the
one of the
trailer
questions.
shows him. He pulls like a paper bag over his head, and he's wearing like
Okay.
sweats. So like
Okay.
there's just a trailer scene like that, and then there's a scene where he's in a bathtub, and he's in the bathtub with a fat guy as well, and they're both in a bathtub just like washing each other.
Interesting.
And at the end of the trailer, he's like, whoosh, and he just like throws spaghetti at someone.
Is is the spaghetti sexual?
I don't. I
That's the
mean, it could
question.
be. Now that you say that out loud, I mean, shit. Um,
Well, have you looked into doing watch parties since? Have you looked into, like, what goes along with that?
I've seen what watch parties are and what goes into it. I've thought about doing them. Um, the thing is, it's just it's one of those things where because of course, if I did a watch party, it's 100% going to be these movies.
Yeah, oh, no, I mean, that's good.
You
It's,
know.
I know, it's very Mystery Science Theater.
The thing is though, is it's one of those things where I already have like I always feel like my plate is full. You know, like
You.
I want to stream. Like for instance, like I want to make sure I stream with the guys. I want to make sure I stream with John. I want to make or I want to do stuff with the guys. I want to do stuff with John. I want to do stuff with Xander, Laura, and Dana, especially. I just bought freaking Overwatch so I could play with her on PC. Um,
Oh, did you get it on PC? You
yeah,
starting over?
well,
Cool.
so I'm not starting over. I literally bought it on the PC so that when she has a day off and I am not playing with anyone, I can play Overwatch with her if they have a space open.
Okay.
I'm not putting any money into it. I'm not caring about it. The biggest thing is just being able to play with her. Everything
Fair.
I'm doing is still going to be on the
They don't
Xbox.
have any cross save for that?
No, no, that's one of the things
Nice.
that they were actually talking about this weekend at BlizzCon.
Okay. Not surprised. Not surprised if it hasn't happened.
um,
Um,
but yeah, so so there's that. But like there's what I'm getting into is like there's a ton of people I want to do stuff with, and I always kind of have I don't have a schedule, but I have a basic setup. Like this is how I do it, and this is how I want to do it.
you have your crew.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
so trying to put in, hey, I want to watch a 2 hour movie. At some point, it's like, is it something I would want to do? Yes, it is. It's fucking definitely something I want to do, but I have to figure out when to do it. What day? Because if I do it, I'm going to do it like I do with podcasts. Podcast is Sunday nights until it gets to football season, and then it moves to Wednesday nights. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's always so much time in the day and people who are around, and
Exactly. So I mean, it's
when you're already going 7 days a week, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
as of this year so far, I've yet to take a day off.
Good for you. I just took a nice 2 weeks off.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean,
I streamed last night, but
it's it's healthy. It's one of the things that we get into with the mental health part. It's healthy to take time off of, especially streaming. It's definitely healthy to take time off. I'm so wound up a lot of the time that I can't.
Yeah.
But like I
Mine
said,
was more
that's
laziness than anything else.
oh yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah.
you know, I mean, movies are always an interesting one for me because it's kind of one of those things where sometimes it can be an escape, sometimes it can be a kind of get the creative juices going.
Yep.
Like there's a bunch of different things, you know, when it comes to it. But
So every once in a while, I fall into this like escape where I mentioned earlier, Tron Legacy, my favorite movie of all time.
mhm.
I don't know. Have you ever seen it?
Which one is that again?
It's the second one. It came out in 2010. There's a
Oh, is that the
sequel.
one with Garrett Hudlin or whatever the fuck his name is?
Yes,
Yes, I have
exactly.
seen
Yes,
that.
and Olivia
Yep,
Wilde.
I thought that was a decent movie.
It's decent, but it like
It's got
a
it's
lot of
got Jeff Bridges and CGI Jeff Bridges.
it stars Jeff Bridges and CGI Jeff Bridges and Bruce Boxlinger and
Bruce Boxlinger.
who is Tron from the first one. But like that movie always brings me back. Like the soundtrack, it's Daft Punk does the soundtrack,
Didn't know that
and
actually.
yeah, so like I have that on vinyl. Like I have the Funkos. Like I'm obsessed with that movie,
Oh, that's awesome.
and there's something about it. I watch it probably anywhere between one and 10 times a year. It
Okay.
depends on how I'm feeling, because it's a fully immersive movie where the soundtrack, if you have that in surround sound, like
hmm
it like you get lost in it, and it
Well,
takes me out of whatever I'm doing.
that's kind of how I felt with when you say about the soundtrack. That's how I felt with the Joker.
Yes, exactly.
Like
That movie was very driven.
if you take that soundtrack out, it's a completely different fucking movie. And there was actually I was
100%.
watching something recently where they were talking about like this is the great things about the movie. I was like I think it was Cinema Wins. I think that was the
Yeah.
channel. And they were doing, you know, the great things about it. And one of the things that I really liked about it that they were saying, and it caught me off guard as well, is the fact that you go from when he's going down the stairs and he's like he has the music going and it's, you know, da 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 da
It
da da.
doesn't fit.
Like it
I
doesn't
I
fit.
don't
Sorry, so it doesn't fit. But then, as soon as you see the two detectives up at the top of the stairs, the music starts going back to that orchestral music. And
yeah.
what the thing said was that it's the thing in his head of this is what he's seeing versus what's actually, you know, kind of going on.
Can
And it
I ask your
was
opinion on that movie, actually? Sorry, you finish your thought.
well, it was just I love the fact that like because I didn't catch that, but after watching that, I went back and rewatched the scene, and yeah, it's kind of the thing of like in his head, that's what's playing.
Yeah.
But as he keeps going down the steps more and more and more, it slowly fades out, and it fades out into that orchestral part and that beautiful, you know, hauntingly beautiful, as I was putting it, you know, soundtrack slowly comes in underneath, and then it's like, yeah, that's what is, you know, now we're back to real life. Now we're not in his, you know, in his world, in his brain, you know.
So, how much so a lot of things have come out. How do you think it's all in his brain? I want
Um,
to, because you're this is your realm. I like so they talked about how he was always in the hospital and
mhm.
everything that
I've
happened.
seen, and it's one of those things. I think it's left to interpretation, and I
Mhm.
think that it's done like that for a very specific reason. Because the Joker, there are multiple different Joker origins, right? It's
Yep.
not like Batman. Batman's origins are his parents died. Boom, that's Batman.
Pretty cut and
Superman,
dry.
Superman. You know, his world blows up. His parents send him to Earth. You know, boom, that's his origin. A lot of these characters have just very base origins. One of the things with Joker that's very unique is that his origin is very fluid, and it's not 100% sure which one it is or what it is, and there is no true continuity. So I did like the fact that in the movie, it's one of those things where like people are like, well, if you look at the clock, the clocks are always at the same time.
Yes, and that was another thing. It's like stuck in the hospital and it's all in his head.
And it's one of those things, you know. It's like I like it because it does allow you to interpret the movie how you want to. My thinking is like, and it did. Like I was trying to figure out like during the movie, I'm like, you know, and when they revealed it at the very end, kind of the flip of like how like nothing's real to, nothing's really going on,
Yeah.
and like the girl, the girl isn't really there.
Do you think he
Um,
killed the girl? Do you think he let her go?
I think he let her go.
I thought that's what I thought.
Um, I think that just like that twist though of like what is real and what's not real at that point, that is when in the movie theater I kind of lost it a little bit in my head because I was like, holy shit, like what?
Because you're like, oh, he never went on that date. She was never around. They were never
Like
like friendly. You're like, what do we not know? Is the mom normal? Is she crazy?
it's like it's like one of those things. It's like okay, so what is real? What isn't real? What have we seen that is like a fake out? And that sort of thing. And I thought they did that in a beautiful way. And I hope to God they do not do a sequel. I hope to God they do not do a sequel
No,
because I
leave it.
think it will
Leave it as it
ruin.
is.
I think it will ruin the first one. What I would like for them to do is give Todd Phillips, who was the director of it,
Yeah.
he came out originally to DC saying, I want to do a whole line of these. Give a bunch of fucking really good producers a very small budget, villain based, make the fucking movie, make it stupid grounded in reality to the point where it's fucking scary. Make it hit on real life things, make it fucking hit people in ways that you wouldn't want it to. And just let the directors do what they do. And he apparently was like pushing at that for months.
And they're like, nah.
And then they kept saying no, 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 no. And then they gave him, he got the Joker, and it's like, look, you got the Joker, like, fucking calm down. Now with the success of it, and and the rebirth of the and the whole Snyder stuff and everything, and DC's kind of starting to ramp up a little bit. I would like to see Todd Phillips gain control of DC Dark, and DC Dark is the new label for the comic books, where it's comic books based more for adults.
Okay.
It's darker themes.
Is that a whole series that's coming out?
It's a label.
It's a label. Okay.
So for instance, they did one recently, and I found it funny because it was a Batman driven one, and at one point they show Batman's dick.
Oh,
Like it's just there.
Was it nice?
Oh, it was what you think a Batcock would look like.
All right, cool, sick. That's
But
what I saw. Like,
the funny thing was though is like so they released it, and then everybody got like really like weirded out, like, hey, why are you showing Batman's dick? Like this is kind of fucking weird.
Batman has a dick.
It was just kind of funny though because it's like this is made for adults, and then the adults are like, well, why am I seeing Batman's dick? Like, yeah.
Hey.
But like, so for instance, and I know I think I've talked to you about this. I want to see a origin story for Mister Freeze with Bryan Cranston playing Mister Freeze and showing him going from the scientist that he's trying to do this thing and he can't do it to him also having to worry about his wife who has cancer and she's dying, and to his eventual breakdown, that how he becomes Freeze. And I think that he could pull that off beautifully.
I think he can like portray mental anguish and like hitting your tipping point better than like most actors in Hollywood.
Exactly, and I think
And
it
he's
would,
from Malcolm in the Middle.
and it would be,
You know?
and it would be one of those things where it would fit perfectly with kind of the way that the Joker movie went. Is like at the end of the movie, now you have Freeze, and it's one of those things where basically give him the outfit from the Arkham games. Because it looks realistic, it looks like something that could actually be made, by him, and just kind of ended there.
Was he a scientist at first?
Yeah.
I don't know his. No.
Yeah, yeah, he was a scientist. So he was
Oh,
a
he was, okay.
scientist. If I remember correctly, he was a scientist. His wife has some rare sort of disease or cancer or something, so he freezes her
Right.
because he's trying to find the solution to it and like the answer to it and everything. And it's the whole thing of like that. So like imagine putting that into
my wife.
Imagine putting that into a movie as well, like having people like like friends and everything being like, no, dude, you can't do this yet, and him just fully like having lost it at this point and like, no, I'm going to do this,
Yeah, and it's like he literally it like just puts her in basically a freezer. Like it is it. I don't think people can deal with real life things. They use these things as an escape.
Oh, of course, that's
They
one
go
of the things that I think that it really fucked with people with the Joker movie is that the Joker, like, there was multiple times in that movie where I got like in the feels, hit full on, like, goddamn.
because like people think he's a likable guy. He's like, oh, it's the Joker. He's Batman's like rival. And they're like, oh no, this guy is
One of
mentally unhealthy.
just I saw it as a funny thing, but it does make a lot of sense. It made me chuckle, but then I was like, yeah, they're not wrong. And it was a thing, and it had it had a picture of Thanos, and it says, how Marvel creates a villain, give them everything so they can take away everything, like that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, how does DC make a villain? Have a human and take away everything from them. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's, I mean, it hits for that specific one. Yes, it hits. Like that is 100% true.
And you
You
know
know,
what? If you don't take away everything from someone, you can make a joke about it, about eating shawarma.
yeah, but like that was my thing though with the Todd Phillips thing in the movies is like give him kind of the power to kind of not just like the power over it. Obviously, have him working with someone else, but
What
like
else has he done?
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Um,
about him. Do you know? If you don't know off the top of your head,
I just typed it into YouTube. So I mean,
did you
wiki.
see
Uh,
Brightburn?
which one?
Brightburn,
Yes.
the
Hmm.
evil Superman.
Yep. The kid Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
you ready
one.
for this?
Yep,
Road trip, old school,
great movie. A
Starsky
great
and
movie.
Hutch, School for Scoundrels,
Mhm.
The Hangover, Due Date,
Yeah.
Hangover 2, Hangover 3, War
Okay.
Dogs, Joker, and then he's going to be doing a untitled Hulk Hogan film.
I've seen all those movies. I actually watched War Dogs last week.
Um, I mean, like I said, I would love to see. 'Cause there's a ton of them that you could really hit on, and it would be um kind of stupid grounded and really kind of show stuff like if you wanted you could do a really good dark humor take on like the Riddler,
Yeah,
kind of
better than Jim Carrey.
the outcast, the outcast who likes riddles but he's always been picked on, that eventually, the snaps are the one that I saw at one point was them saying they should do with the Lex Luthor tries to become president storyline.
Is that a story? Is
That
that
is
a
that is an actual storyline book, and it is fucking fantastic because it shows a
okay?
lot of the like behind the scenes wheeling and dealing and like backstabbing and like that sort of stuff.
Okay. About politics, the American politics, where
Yep.
anyone.
Um, but like, man, there's all sorts of ones you could do, and like, you could get like either really heartfelt with it, you could get really, kind of dark with it. But I think that it's one of the things that, like, I think DC does well when they do go dark. Like Joker was dark, like it may not have been like visually dark, but that was just a dark movie overall.
Well, so another thing is that like I knowing you, I know that, and then other DC fans is DC fans they hate the humor.
Mm.
They
Well,
want the grittiness. They want
so it's not a hate of humor, right?
yeah.
It's we
Sorry.
we're fine with I mean, I'll just speak for me. I'm fine with humor. It's just like, for instance, the humor in Shazam. I fucking love that
Yeah. Well,
because it's about a 10-year-old kid.
it's a child.
Yeah, it's about a child becoming a superhero. Like there needs to be humor there. The thing
Yeah.
is, though, is it's like, for instance, like one of the things that people were talking about recently with the Justice League movie is the fact that Cyborg said "booyah." Right? Did you ever see about all that shit?
No.
So apparently, there was a big kerfuffle about it, and about how Ray Fisher was pissed off because Joss Whedon made him say "booyah" in a movie. In the movie, and there was a whole big kerfuffle about it. And someone recently asked Zach, like, "Hey, does he say booyah in your movie?" And he's like, "Of course he fucking doesn't say booyah in my movie. Like, you dumb." And then when you start putting it all together, it's like, well, let's see. He lost his mother. He
Yeah.
lost the whole football story arc, which is in the thing. So the character of Cyborg is a football player,
Yeah, and then he doesn't know who he is, really is. He thinks like his dad programmed him.
right? So in the movie, he's going to lose his dad because we've seen it in the trailer. His dad blows up in front, like disintegrates in front of him.
Yeah.
So like you take all these like dark element, like these like traumatic elements that are in there, and you're gonna have him say fucking booyah in the movie. It's like it kind of doesn't make sense.
My thing is that isn't that like a trademark of that character?
Oh,
Not a
of course it is.
trademark, but like a
So
hallmark.
so one of the things I said to Charles that I thought it would be a way to put it in the movie. It would hit with the fans, but it would also be a throwaway line. So it's kind of a perfect opportunity. Have him score a touchdown. He spikes the ball and say "Gooey-oh."
Hey, there you go. And while he's still human.
It's at that point it's a character saying his line, but it's also a throwaway line.
Yeah.
Um,
But he still says it.
exactly. But no, I mean, like there's plenty of times where like like we're fine with humor. It's just we're not fine with like the forced humor.
Oh,
Where it's like they take the fish and they
we
slap.
talked about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So I love it in certain movies, right?
Yeah.
Like I've said, Biodome.
Oh, great movie.
If I want to watch a fucking funny movie, I'll go watch
Yeah.
something like Biodome. If I want to be stupidly entertained, I'll go watch something stupid like that. I'll go watch fucking Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
How High?
Those dumb movies. Did you I'm a big Pauly Shore guy, but I just watched what's the one where he he like falls in love with a girl from the Midwest.
Oh, I don't know.
Coming Home. I can't remember it. Either way, so it doesn't matter. I love Pauly Shore, and I had a big fight with my friend about it, and he's like, Pauly Shore, he ruined comedy. I'm like, no, man. Like, have you ever watched his stand up? Have you watched his stand up?
No, I have not watched the stand up.
Oh, I think he's funny, and he's still like he's just like
I
an
know what
old
I'll be
grumpy
doing
man.
tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. at work.
Well, he's done a lot of podcasts recently too.
Okay.
Because his mom. Do you know anything about his history?
No.
So the Comedy Store in L.A.
I know of many that are like the Comedy Store, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's like the mecca of comedy in
Okay.
California is the Comedy Store, and his mom started it, and so he was the daughter of this famous
okay.
producer, and that's how he started in the world, and like his mom wouldn't even allow him to go on stage. So until like way after all these movies he was in. Like he was in all these
that's
movies
wild.
and she was like, "You're still not funny."
You're still not good enough to be considered my son.
Exactly. You're like, "Nah, come back when you're better."
That's fucking wild.
And I don't know. And because he just did a new movie where he is like a squatter basically in a pool shed. I didn't see that one. I'm drawing a blank with these movie names today.
Funny, the day that we're talking about movies, the day,
I know.
like, right? Well, no, I mean, also, going back to just funny movie, or not even funny movies, but like movies that were our favorites. Like, for instance, I've said before, Batman vs Superman: The Ultimate Edition is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But before that one came out, this is a fun fact that like I know a lot of the Norwich guys will know because they know because I used to watch it like once a fucking month. But How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Is that the Matthew McConaughey one?
Yes, that's the Matthew McConaughey one. That was my favorite movie of all time, man. Like,
why? I'm curious.
I loved everything about that movie. Because I'm a big romantic guy, right?
Okay.
I'm
All right.
when it's romance and it's when it comes to that, I fucking love it. I love all of it. In my opinion, there's nothing better than seeing the person that you love, right? Seeing them smile, seeing them happy because of something you did. It could be something fucking stupid,
See, this is what I wanted to know. This is how I opened it up with you. I'm like, I want to know a movie that you love that you wouldn't know.
So
like that.
Yeah. So
oh my.
the whole aspects of the movie, I just love the idea of this guy is trying as hard as he fucking can to make her fall in love with him. Meanwhile, she's trying as hard as she can to make him fucking hate her, like break up with her. And I loved the duality of it throughout the entire movie because I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I could see me doing some of that shit. And then it's like, yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Like, no, like, but no, I mean, I'm just a huge Matthew McConaughey fan anyway.
Oh, same. Did you read his book?
Bro, I don't read. Come on.
Okay.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
I was elected to read.
Do you remember what movie that's from?
I can't, but
It's
I
The
know
Simpsons.
the line.
The Simpsons when they're fucking talking to President Arnold Schwarzenegger and I was elected to lead, not to read. Because they told him to pick a plan.
Simpsons did it first.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you like Jerry Maguire?
Jerry Maguire. I mean, I'm okay with Jerry Maguire. It's been so long since I've seen it. It's one of those things. I really don't. I don't watch a whole lot of stuff anymore. I watch
Okay.
things on and off here and there. Like I recently, let me find out which one it was. I recently just watched a movie on HBO Max actually, like within the past day or two.
Is it the one you talked
Um,
about?
no, it was a different one. Irresistible.
I've not heard of that one.
It's it's a stupid like fucking in that in
You're
the
like, I hated it.
I did and I didn't at the same time. It was one of those things. There was a lot of parts where I was like, "Oh God, just shut the fuck up," and then there was other parts where I was like, "All right, this is fucking funny." No, it was
Is
basically
it
like a small town in like Montana or something like that. There's a World War II vet that says a bunch of stuff, and then the Democratic, like a Democratic Party person's like, "I want him to be the new face of the Democratic Party." So then he goes there to like get him all like ready and riled up, and then a female from the
it's
Republican
a famous
Party.
cast. I'm surprised I never heard of this.
Oh yeah, it's a funny fucking movie. Yeah, a Wisconsin town's mayoral race blows up nationally when a Democratic strategist
It's a
gets
hard word.
involved in this political comedy from Jon Stewart, and it was actually really kind of funny. But there were scenes where they took it too far. But the funny thing was though is that they did hit both sides really well. Like it wasn't just
Yeah.
like, oh, let's take a bunch of jabs at the Republicans and not the Democrats. No, they were taking jabs at both of them.
Oh, cool. Because that's like the Midwest. It's both sides. It's
Hmm.
pretty. It's like you get,
So
especially out there.
it was kind of cool because like there's one part where like uh fucking it's Steve Carell. Jesus,
Steve
there
Carell,
we go,
Rose
Carell. For
Byrne.
some reason I couldn't get the fucking last name right.
Oh, hey,
Um,
flubbing. We're all flubbing
yeah.
today.
But he goes into like a bar, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Can I get a bud and a burger?"
He's like, what?
And the guy behind the thing's like, "Yeah, like just like So like he goes in the back room and talks to his chef, and then in the background you see his chef go out of the fucking bar and across the street, and he gets a burger and fries from across the street and buys a 6-pack and comes back, and they fucking give him that and take one of the beers out of the 6-pack and give him it. And I was like, I'm just kind of sitting there like, yeah, that's yeah. And then like he gets up like to his like apartment, like his room, and he's like, hey, is there Wi-Fi here? And like, what's Wi-Fi?
They're just like, what?
And it was like, oh, okay. Like, I guess not, sort of thing. It was like I said, they played both sides really well. I thought during the movie, but the
Well,
ending
because
of
like
it,
in that part of the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, the ending was really good. The ending like actually like got me because I'm sitting there and I was like, I don't know where the fuck this is going. Like as the movie's going on, you kind of start losing track, and losing interest. And then they hit you with a curve at the end, and you're like, okay, that's fucking hilarious. Like that's actually
Is
really
this
good.
was that an HBO Max original?
No, 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 no. No, I don't think so. Anyway, now that you say that out loud, and I just said
No,
no,
it's
no,
on
no, no,
theaters and on demand.
no.
No, it's not. I don't know. It sounds very much like a non-comedy version of Welcome to Mooseport.
Yes, like I said, there was scenes in it that were funny and like haha, but like overall though, like I said, I felt at points that it's definitely one of those things where if you're a political person, you will find it fucking hilarious and you will laugh for hours and days. If you're not a political person, there's gonna be times when you're gonna be just fed up with the fucking movie.
Oh yeah. Me.
Yeah.
You like horror movies?
No.
Are those?
So
No.
actually, weird thing. Don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
But the Saw franchise is one of my favorite franchises.
Which is very. Oh, it's horror. Yeah.
Right? It's a weird thing,
Hard
right?
horror. Yeah.
Like, um, I don't know what I hate being scared, but I loved the kind of the original. Let me put it like this: the original psychology behind what the Saw movies were.
Okay.
Which is it's like the what are you willing to do to survive?
Which is, I guess, is more. You could argue that's more of a thriller. The original.
Right? And so like the first, I would say like the first like maybe two, maybe three were okay, and then after that, it just turned into like, let's see how fucked up we can make this kill, and like that's when it started losing me. I remember me and John, we went to go see Saw. I think it was Saw 3D in theaters.
I saw that in theaters also.
And it was one of those things where like we went in and we saw it, and as we left, we were like, "That was so bad."
Oh, oh,
Like
yeah, it
it's
wasn't great.
it was one of those things. It's like we literally only went to go see it because it was like a tradition at that point that we went and saw the Saw movie. But it was like, yeah, we
The
were not.
tradition that ended that day.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like it was not one of those things where the tradition lasted well. Yeah, no, so yeah, I don't do well with jump scares. I don't do well with spooky stuff like that. Like it's one of those things where, and it goes into the mental health thing later, where my mind can just run with stuff very easily,
Uh-huh.
and like I know I'll get into different nightmares that that I've had. That even as a as a 32-year-old, I still have fucking nightmares like at least maybe once a month. Um, and some of that stuff kind of plays into it to an extent.
Okay. It's out of being out of control and, like, coming at you.
It's just it's an interesting thing. I'll leave it there and I'll let it and
Alright.
I'll hit on it in a little bit.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's like I one of the channels that I recently found was called I think it's called Dead Meat on YouTube,
Okay.
and he
Alright.
does kill counts for horror movies.
Oh, okay.
So I actually watch horror movies basically through that because he chops it up enough so that it
It's a
doesn't.
highlight.
Exactly. It doesn't get
Yeah.
me into it, and I've actually watched, I think, like two horror movies after watching his kill counts.
Oh, it's so it kinda takes you out of it.
Exactly. Like it's one of those things. Like I don't like being scared. Everyone know. I
Yeah.
mean, people who know me know I don't like being scared. I hate that sort of shit. I
Yeah.
like jump scares kill the shit out of me. I mean, shit. When I was playing the Blair Witch video game, at the very beginning, you hear the woodpeckers.
Yeah.
That shit was scaring the living shit out of me. Just the
So
woodpecker, because it sounded like
oh,
it
it's not
like
easy. I couldn't play through Alien Isolation. I tried playing through it during Halloween. I couldn't get through it. It was scared as shit.
it's just I no so like horror anything like that. I'm immediately out. Like I'm good. Like
Did you see Cabin in the Woods?
yes.
I watched it and I was maybe 3/4 the way, like towards the end where they release all the monsters and it
Hmm.
starts killing everyone. That's when I realized the movie wasn't a comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not
That was
so
Oh, the funny thing is, like, so you say that for me, that was the moment when I was just kind of like, that was the moment where like I kind of leaned back a little bit in my chair a little bit, just kind of away from the screen because I knew shit was going down. But at the
yeah.
same time, I was 100% okay with it because I'm like, it's like, oh yeah, let's deal with these motherfuckers, and then they slam the button. It's like, okay, I know what's gonna happen, so I don't need to worry about being jump scared. I'm just gonna lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back.
So here's my thing. Maybe this says something about me, but so like the first people who die, they die to I think a chainsaw killer.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And, they do it, and then it goes to a control room for the first time, and it shows the people controlling the control room,
Mm,
and I was like, "Oh, like, those people didn't die, like, they're filming a show, like, they probably just captured them," and then, like, it continued going, and I was like, "Oh, wait, no, they did die." Because I went into it blind, not
mm.
knowing anything about it, and it's considered one of the best horror movies of the decade, and I'm
I
just like, I'm
see.
watching this.
That's one of those ones I would consider like a horror, like comedy almost.
But it's not I don't think they consider it a
I don't think they
comedy.
do either. I mean, horror comedy as well to me is like Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
Yeah, versus Evil, Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah.
um,
But like,
t ta yeah.
I
What?
guess it's not like it wouldn't be like a comedy, but it's definitely not like true horror, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, it was
like
one of those things.
Insidious?
Like, yeah, I mean, like as soon as they showed like the whole as soon as they showed like the control room and like this is all like set up so like it will definitely happen. As soon as they started getting that down, I'm sitting there like, okay, there's gonna be like no real jump scares. This is all gonna be just straight up just like killing, gore sort of stuff. And like at that point, then yeah, I was like, yeah, like you know,
I think so. Insidious is one of the best literally is one of the best horror movies in the last 10 years.
okay,
Probably ever, and I think it's ranked as the scariest jump scare of all time.
yeah, fuck that then. I'm good.
Uh, it is oh my gosh, like, if you watch that,
Nope.
you don't get scared from that,
Let's
you are a special breed of person.
let's put it like this. when I was at work one day, one of the people that live in the building that was doing maintenance on the building came out back. He thought it'd be funny to walk up behind me and like tap me on the shoulder. So he walked trying to tap me on the shoulder. I turned and punched him and broke his nose. So, like, yeah, I don't do scary horror. No, don't. Like, this is just a
Hey,
dude tapping me on the shoulder, man. I'm fully involved in my work. Like, I'm just pressing away, and suddenly, like, he taps me on the shoulder. I'm just fully, nope.
yeah. Whereas like I'm at work, headphones in, someone yells at me, I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Uh, actually, one the I got it's like a dog charged me one day in a class. I work at a college,
Hmm.
and a dog charged me at in a classroom one day when there was like during the pandemic, and it scared the shit out of me because I was the only one in the building, one of the only people on campus, and out of nowhere, a dog charges me. I think I like shit my pants. I
Oh
was about to
yeah,
shit
yeah.
my
I don't blame you. That shit. Yeah. Well,
headphones in. I just hear.
when I was coaching, I used to have to walk to the high school, and it's half mile. And of course, so we would have workouts at like 6 in the morning. So of course, I would have to leave at like 5:30. So 5:30 in the morning in the freaking middle of nowhere, Vermont, right?
Uh-huh.
Like I have my headphones in, still you hear shit. You just hear the creepy shit around.
Yeah,
But like the worst part is though, it's like out of nowhere, you just see like a skunk.
and those are scary because you know what can happen,
Exactly.
not
So like
not because they're scary looking. You know?
so like the worst part is though, it's like there's parts down the main pathway to the school where like there are no lights. So it is literally pitch black. So like I used to have to take a flashlight with me sometimes. And there would be times when I'd forget the flashlight. So you'd be walking trying to like peer through the darkness or the little bit of light that you have, and all you would see out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere, is just a white stripe.
Yeah,
And it's like you see it and then it's gone. And like that shit was fucking scary.
you're like, "Where'd it go? Where'd it go?"
Exactly, because it's like where did it go? Is it gonna spray me? Is it gonna chase me? Which actually that happened a couple times. Um,
Aggressive.
there's nothing.
They are aggressive.
There's nothing quite like seeing Husky running down the street at 5:30 in the morning in sweats with a bag on, and he's being chased by a fucking
It
skunk.
Alright, is it a silent run or is it a
Oh
or you
no, no,
like,
no!
"Get away, get away!"
It's not that. It's more like just the deep, heavy breathing. Like I'm in full panic mode at this point, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, no, I mean and like but speaking of movies, I have a few movies behind me that like you can't see on stream.
Yeah,
But I have like just like a little list of movies that I have. But like you look at the list and it's like you go from like Lincoln Lawyer, How I Met Your Mother, then you go to Wallace and Gromit, you go to The Grinch, you go to Santa's Sleigh, John English, Clerks, the Cornetto trilogy, Robin Hood, Noah, The Next 3 Days. Like my movies kind of are all over the place.
uh, yeah, but also, the first movie in the Cornetto trilogy is a horror comedy,
Yeah, exactly,
so
beautifully done as
one
well.
of my favorite movies of all time, also that one. And then I saw Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead
Hmm.
at least 30 times each.
What did you think of At World's End?
I liked it, but it hit me at a different time because I think that came out when I was in high school.
Mm.
So, and there was something
For
about
for me, it was weird because
maybe in college.
for me it was weird because it was one of those things where the first one happened and then the second one happened and then it felt like they needed to do a third one at that point.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but
It it just didn't hit you in the same way.
exactly there was a lot of parts that I did like. Don't get me wrong, but
So it came out in 2013, not high school. This came out, and then
yeah,
Hot Fuzz I think came out in 2006,
yeah, exactly. Like there was I think if I remember,
2007.
yeah, there was a huge gap between the two.
Yeah.
Um,
And like also it's also hit at that period of time when DVDs were king. Because DVDs are you throw those away now, who cares? Because you just watch it all online. But that was like, like it's the same thing with, Chappelle's Show when that came out, 2004, 2003, 2004. The reason that was so successful is because it came out on DVD. It was like
mhm.
Word of mouth, transfer everything,
I
transfer it to everyone.
remember
Same thing with Jackass.
I remember being in high school and like I never used to watch the show, but like I would go into school and like people would just be like like everyone in school would be just listing off the different terms and the different things said, and it
Oh,
was one of those things where it's like I knew what all of it was just because of people talking about it.
yeah, because that was the coolest thing in the world at the time. S- Still, is-
Oh,
still
yeah,
is funny.
exactly. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. I mean, even to this day, I mean, there'll be people out there that that will say otherwise and fucking condemn us for it. So, um, but no, it's fucking
It's
hilarious.
I don't know. It will always be funny. I watched the first season
Mhm.
during the pandemic, and it was still just as funny. I died laughing.
Oh yeah.
They show boobs in the first episode, which was like it completely threw
Mm.
me off, and I was like, "Huh,
Huh?
huh,
It's one of those,
boobs?"
I don't know. Have you ever had those moments where you're playing a game or you're doing something on stream and suddenly like there's a boob, and you're like
Yeah, and I'm like,
you're just kind of sitting there. It's like it's one of those things where you just kind of stare at your camera because it's like, fuck, I'm about to get canceled.
you're like, it's. You're like, well, it happened with Cyberpunk. That was the last time it
Hmm.
happened because in Cyberpunk, the character creator,
Yeah.
there's like no way to do it where you don't show
Yeah, well, you don't show
uh
like, yeah,
any gens.
that's fucking.
So
Well, from
my character was trans with the biggest cock
oh,
imaginable because in the future we have the technology.
we have the technology.
We have the technology. That was my character's name was Victoria.
Oh, okay, Victoria, nice. I like the
Birth
name.
birth as Victoria, and then transitioned, and then they were known as V.
Oh, just V. Okay. Um.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I just did kind of it is a movie, interactive movie. She Sees Red. That's what I was. I don't know if you've noticed if I told you about that or not. I did that
Nope.
on stream. Yeah. Um.
Oh, you did that recent, like within the
Mhm.
last week or two, right?
Yep, I've done two. I've done two playthroughs of it because there's different things that happen. There's like four different endings, and I've gotten two of them so far. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get the other two endings, and then just do the endings as videos. So I'm gonna put the whole thing up on YouTube. But like the very first playthrough of it though is like at one point you're suddenly in a bathtub with the girl, and there's her boob, just one boob, singular boob, and I'm sitting there and it's like it happens, and I look at the camera and I'm like, I'm about to get fucking banned because this thing is fucking showing a boob. Like, that's like I don't know how
I've
to
never
cover
heard of it.
that. And
You're like, uh, from everything I've heard, I heard it's as long as it's like not the focus of the
hmm,
stream, you're fine.
exactly.
Um, and you're like, you're playing a game. You're not like, well, you're not like, hey, boobs,
Yeah.
boobs, 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 boobs.
Was one of those things where did you ever see the one about what was it? Was it Alinity that showed her boob on stream? Like her boob
I
popped
don't
out.
remember.
So there's some female streamer, her boob popped
Yeah.
out, and she didn't get in any trouble. So some guy, every time he got like a new sub or something like that, he put another picture of the female streamer with her boob out. He put that on the screen.
Yeah.
So like eventually he had like 50 pictures of her on his screen or something like that. Some stupid like there was like some stupid number of just like it was just like her and her boob out like.
Oh, was it like 50 individuals, or was it all stitched together?
No, it was just like individually, just like there's one, there's one, there's one,
Okay. All
and
right. All right.
eventually he got banned because he wanted to show
Really?
because he wanted to show the kind of like the hypocrisy of they're not going to ban her because she shows her boob, but if
Yeah.
I show it,
I mean, no, like I think I would get banned if I went shirtless. No, I guess no one wants to see these nips. So I'm like,
well,
come on.
that's the thing, man. As long as you have pasties on or pasties on or however the fuck you say it, right? As long as you have that and you're just painting your body away,
It's body art.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an artistic choice.
It's one of those things.
Um,
It's going to be interesting to see because like I said recently on stream, for Halloween this year, I'm going to do one of two things. Either one, I'm going to do
okay.
caustic.
Yeah,
Okay, because
which would be cool.
it's the common sense one. Let's be honest here, everyone. Right? It's the common sense one.
It fits, and I think Caustic's a cool
Right.
character. I've actually never played him. Cool character though.
Or
Yeah.
I'm going to do either like Widowmaker or Mercy.
Okay.
Now,
Are you
like,
gonna? But you're gonna paint your skin though,
well, like
right?
that's the thing, right? So, like, if I do Mercy, I mean, like, if I do Widow, I kind of have to, right? Because she just has like that deep V,
It's like a bodysuit,
right? Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I'm gonna be wearing like a skin tight bodysuit, and then I'm gonna have like a deep V painted up,
Oh.
and like that's gonna be my stream. Like,
Well, you can show cleavage, right? You know, like.
oh, it's gonna be a lot more than cleavage, sir. Like,
Well, Pokimane, she got banned briefly for it because I think
mm.
she also showed a nipple.
Dear God.
That that exists somewhere.
Um, I love how we're now talking about streamer nipples instead of, from movies. See, this is the
We
reason. This is the reason why this is just such a fluid podcast. We just kind of we go wherever the fuck we want to go. Um,
well, actually, do you want to move on before? Because I see we're at like an hour here.
I mean that's fine. We can move on. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
I don't have anywhere to be. I just was, I didn't want to take too
I,
much of your time.
when I first started the podcast, right? Because this is my second
Yeah,
time going through it. I did my podcast the very first year I started streaming. I did a podcast, and it was absolute shite. Um, so
as it is.
so I rebooted it. So now it is even more shite. But I've got 54 episodes out of it, so I mean it's doing better apparently. Um, but when I did the first one, I set it up so I was like every topic is gonna be like at 20 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna hit like 4 topics, 24. It's an hour long, done.
Yeah.
And then I think I forgot who I was talking to, like which stream it was. But there was one stream and like it just went like we had one topic that went for like 40 minutes.
Okay.
And like I
And,
felt very constricted myself cutting shit off. So at that point I was just kind of like, you know what, if we're going to talk about movies, we're going to talk about movies. And then like eventually I'll flip over if I feel like we're getting off track too much. Like that
okay.
sort of thing. So but yeah, no, so that's
Because like I mean, one day we went in Discord and talked about like Wonder Woman for I think
mhm,
like an hour one day.
mhm.
Just Wonder, it
Yeah,
is
we
what it
did.
is.
All right, so
Uh,
like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we are not professionals. We are not here to give tips or really even advice. We're
what
just
works for us may not work for you,
exactly.
and at the end of the day, what works for you is up to you.
And that's the thing. A lot of it is going to be just kind of our
Maybe that.
experiences. And hopefully someone out there can, look and be like, hey, I've kind of experienced that. This is how I dealt with it, or even like, hey, the way that you dealt with it, I'm going to try just to see, you know, just anything. It's just kind of, we're just, like I said, DeNutte hit me with it and said like, hey, do you want to talk about some stuff like this? Because it deals with some stuff that I've been going through. And after last week with Charles, we got a little heavy at the end of it. So I said, yeah, fuck it, let's get deep, let's open up the souls a little bit, let's get this, going, and it'll be cathartic for both of us, it'll be good for the heart. I'm just kind of getting some of this stuff off of our chest. So the taboo topic, right? Mental health. Um,
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
um, right. It's a weird one. It is a very taboo thing, but like everybody kind of wants you to be open about it. Meanwhile, telling you like, hey, don't open up.
Hey, keep
Um,
that shit to yourself.
exactly right. There are times when like I do feel like that 100%. Like I feel like I was actually having a talk with someone recently about it. And I said to her, like, look, I kind of hate that I keep bringing up. Like a lot of our conversations are me being negative and like just the negative shit that I have going on, and I was like, I fucking hate this.
And it's just kind of a byproduct because it's like the way that your mind thinks, it's the only way that you can deal with things and the only way you can express yourself. Things may not all be bad, but like you sometimes only concentrate on the negative.
Exactly, and like because like like of course being the good friend that she is, she's like it's fine, it's okay, like that's we do this for each other. I open up to you, you open up to me, and it's one of those things. But like in the back of the head, though, right?
Yeah.
That voice is talking.
Oh, it's always talking.
She doesn't really care. She fucking hates you. Don't fucking listen to her. Why are you fucking
Yeah.
telling her this? And it's just like it's one of those things.
But they
It
wouldn't
just
reach
did.
out if they didn't care. And like, oh hey, this is I will say this. This is if you could take anything from this, friends are the biggest help that you can have. Friends and
Mm-hmm.
family. Like that is if even if you refuse to go talk to a doctor, a therapist, like, friends and family are, like, your biggest support, even if you don't think they are. Sorry, preachy.
No, no, no. I mean, it's fine. I mean, that's like I said, I wanted to get open with this and kind of open up the souls a little bit with this one because
Yeah.
I've been going through it rough. Um, God, I can't fucking even remember the last time I wasn't going through something really, which is kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, but also it's so I've always so mine started I'll go off let me go off a
Yep.
tangent for a second.
Yep.
Mine started off in high school,
Okay.
like, probably my sophomore year of high school, and suicidal thoughts, anxiety, um, I've tried to commit suicide. It's I've always equated it to, like, being a drug addict. Like, a lot of people don't wanna be a drug addict, but it's an illness, it's something that you can't control.
Hmm.
It's not something you ever wanted, it's something that happened. Not necessarily you made the wrong mistake, it's something that you always carry with you, and you're always in recovery,
Hmm.
and you just gotta live one day at a time. Some days are good, some days are bad, and you just always try to have more good days than bad days.
Oh yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I'm sorry to hear that. The suicide part.
um It is what it is. Like, I really loved and it's why I left Norwich my
Hmm.
freshman year. I left Norwich my freshman year, 2 months into the 2nd semester of my
Hmm.
freshman year, because I was very depressed. I was on antidepressants throughout the whole time I was there. Um, I couldn't, like, I couldn't function very well. I couldn't form thoughts, like, uh, also concussions don't really when you're taking
Yeah.
antidepressants with and having concussions, they kinda really, um and that's not a woe is me thing, like, we all hit our heads, you know,
I know. I mean,
they
and that's
they
that's
don't
that's that's one of those things. Anyone out there that's gonna try to pull the "woe is me," "oh, poor you," if you're
yeah,
someone that's even thinking about writing that or thinking about fucking saying it, just fuck off. Like,
uh, yeah, it's
you're
it's
part of the fucking
I've
reason. You're part of the fucking problem. Like,
it's why we don't like talking about it.
yeah. I mean, and that's
Um,
like that's the reason why it is such a fucking taboo thing, because of fucking assholes like that.
I know. And that's why I left school because, like, I mentally was such in a bad place, like, I almost committed myself when I left.
Hmm.
Like, that's how bad it was for me mentally.
Jesus.
Um And ultimately why I didn't return to school, and that was something I pretty much went through alone. Like, I told some of the coach like Minkin knew, some of the coaches knew,
Hmm.
my roommates knew, but most, like, I didn't really reach out to anyone about it because it was like, especially then, you're 19 years old. You don't think like you're a pussy for
Oh yeah,
leaving.
I mean, and that's it's one like, I mean, I would say like, and that's kind of one of the things that like it was a weird one because even with the way it was set up there, right? Because like it's one of those things where for a lot of people that don't know, like we played on the same football team. When you join a college and you join a team, it's not kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, you get to meet friends, you get to go out and actually meet these friends and introduce yourself and this and that. Day one, you're basically told these are your friends now.
Exactly, like,
Like that's
this
fucking
is your
it.
family.
You go to
No,
college a month before everyone else, and they go, "This is your family. This is your brother. This is your friend, and these are your next friends for the next. If you're lucky, these are your friends for the next 4 years, and then
yeah,
on
that's
for the
what
rest
it's
of your
like if you're
life."
lucky. And,
Um,
and you guys were all great people. Like, you and John are what helped me get through just camp alone.
mhm.
Like, if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know even if I was strong enough to get through that. And, like, I know that was 10, 11 years ago, but, like, people don't forget, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly.
Exactly. See, like,
Um,
you guys all went through 4 years of it. I went through
yeah,
1 year of it, and, like, I know it's
like there
weird for
was.
me to s
I remember. I remember. I think it was senior year. I mean, this is the douchebag part of me. There was the one kid that was just like there was just a constant nonstop whining. and it was a lot of the, like, I want to go home, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to be a
Was it
part
me?
of the team. Fuck you guys. No, this is our senior year. So like
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, that my freshman year was your senior year.
yeah, no, so yeah, no, it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
I was like,
Yeah,
huh?
no, it wasn't you. But there was someone like that, and eventually one of the other senior linemen was just like, "Look, if you want to fucking leave, just fucking leave."
Oh,
Because and it got to that point though with us because it was one of
yeah.
those things where it's like, look, we've fucking been here. We've done this for 4 fucking years. We don't want people on the team that don't want to be on the team.
Mhm.
If you're just gonna bitch and complain the whole time, then just fucking leave already. Because
And
we
see,
don't need that here.
that's a big fear is, like, you don't
Hmm.
know if that's you, like, if that's, like, the energy you give off,
Exactly. Well, yeah,
and,
no,
like
like I'll straight up say, I know for 100% fact it was not you.
yeah,
Um,
so, like, I try to keep it very internalized,
mhm. Well, like, and
but,
that's the
like, at
thing
the
is
same
like
time, you fear that
if
that's you.
if you like, it's one of those things as well where like if you if you would have came to one of us, like let's say for instance that was happening, right, and you would have come to one of
Yeah.
us and told us that, just you, like if you would have come to like me and John and me Donnie, like any one of us, right, any one of the combination of
Probably not
people,
Donnie.
well, yeah,
Probably not
but
Donnie.
I mean it was still, even, 100% honest, even if it was like we would have just been like, okay, what's up, and it would have been
Yeah.
like that. This was openly around the entire team. Like, didn't matter who it
Oof.
was. It was always making it known. Always like that was their identity at that point. Was that they just didn't want to fucking be there. And it was one of those things where,
Do
like,
do you remember who it was?
I have an idea. I can't remember the name though.
Okay.
But like, I like it was. It did turn into one of those
Just don't
things though, where
remember.
it's like, because we were trying to be the best team in the fucking U.S. Like, we weren't trying to be the best team in the conference. We were trying to be the best team in the fucking U.S. We had our
Oh, yeah.
fucking goals. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew we were fucking badasses.
It was a great
And
place.
having people that are constantly negative like that just brings the whole fucking thing down, and you can't have it.
And I'm over here like, "Who was it?" I'm like, because this is the whole thing about, like, anxiety. I'm like,
Mhm.
in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, it was you."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
well, like, and that's the thing, right? That's what I was saying earlier about the thing in your head, right? Like, I can tell
it
you a
was you.
hundred times, I can tell you 100 times it wasn't you, but the voice in the
And
fucking
even
back of your
right now,
head,
but still, even right now, I'm like, "Yeah, it was you."
yeah.
Like,
But no, seriously, on the
oh, no,
yeah.
I do believe you.
But yeah, no, I mean, so there's, and it's like, I think for me, depression, anxiety, um, a little bit of suicidal thoughts.
Mhm.
That stuff all started after college when I came back home, actually.
'Cause it's a
Um,
step away from what you've known. It's like you lost part of you.
oh yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not gonna
so,
define who you are, sorry, that's me.
um, well, for me, it was a lot of, in college, right? Like, I was always around the guys.
Yep.
Like, there was almost never a time during the day when any of us were by ourselves. There was always someone with us. Someone on the team was with us almost all the time, or the girlfriend, or the fuck buddy at the time, whatever. Right.
Yep.
Um. So going from that environment to back home, where it's like, okay, college, my high school buddies, I haven't talked to in 4 fucking years. Because they all fucking turned their backs on me. I'm now coaching, so the coaching staff were my coaches, so that's fucking weird. So the only people I really have to talk to are on the internet, my friends, or my parents.
Yeah.
So eventually, for me, it got to a point, and like I remember talking to Fedge about it. He was one of the first people I actually like reached out to and was like, "Look, dude, like I need, like, can I vent and open up to you about this?" Um, I was having a hard time talking and putting sentences together, just straight up
Yeah.
sentences, and it was one of those things where like I looked into it, and Jeff kind of told me what had happened with him, and kind of to look into it. And it was one of those things that it's an actual thing where, like, if you're very social for a long period of time and then you go to being very antisocial, your brain basically like turns off.
You're like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?"
So it's like, and that's the thing. So it stops working as fast. So like, there were times when I was like in the weight room telling a story, and it would take like 10 minutes. I can
Yeah.
tell you the same story right now, and it would take 2 minutes.
And also that is happening now too,
Right.
after sure, because like today I saw a good friend of mine who
Hmm.
I think I've seen him 4 times throughout quarantine.
Yeah.
He came I cleaned out my dad's garage today. He helped me come do it, and, like, he's about to have a kid, and, like, it's just crazy. I don't know. like whenever I will probably see the kid once, maybe the
Mhm.
next year, twice. It's just it's very lonely,
Oh yeah, I mean,
and
that's one of the other ones that I deal with a lot. And like I said, I know because like that was one of the things you reached out originally with when I was asking about things to do and everything. Um, so other than the person at the cash register today when I went to the store, I haven't in person talked to someone since Thursday.
yeah, it's a big gap.
And like I've said before, I could literally. So, and of course, like I said, the person in the cash was, the register was like, "Do you want a bag? You know, do you want to, do you want to round up?" Like it wasn't like a conversation; it was just asking the basic questions, right?
Yes, yes, I need you to hug me, please.
Right, exactly, right. Yeah, it's one, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, no, I don't want to round up, but I would like a hug. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I
I'm
can
not
like,
diminishing what you have. I'm just
well, yeah, no,
it's
I mean,
just
but like I can like, and I've said it before, like it is a scary thought of mine because like there can be like a full week where I don't talk to someone. And
yeah.
that's not like me trying to be shut in or anything. That's just kind of how things work. Like
Yeah, and this
I
is I
like
mean, we're talking to each other, but, like,
it's
we're
different.
talking to each other through microphones
Exactly. It's,
100 miles away.
like, and it's one of those things where I have I'm I'm very self-conscious about a lot of
Mm,
things.
yeah.
And like I'm I've always been I'm always a huge thing of like I wouldn't ever do that to someone, or like if I say it I fucking mean it. Like it's that simple, right? Because too many lies create too many strands get tangled. So it's one of those things where I've always just after
Uncomfortably honest.
exactly. So like there's some people that like I'll text with like all day. Like literally, I'll go all day. Like I'll wake up, send them a message, talk to them throughout the day periodically, and then right
Mhm.
before bed, send them another message. And I have like one or two people that I do that with.
Yep.
And like I'll say every now and then like, hey, like I would actually like to talk to you, or like
Oh,
like
I
I
ap
like, and it's one of those things where like it's like, well, yeah, we talk all day, and like in my head it's like, no we don't, like we text, we don't talk, and it's a little thing, and it's one of those things. It's just like with this was another friend that I was talking to today. I said I'm sorry. I was like I'm sorry. I was like sorry that that you're going through that or something like that. And they said it is what it is or it's okay. And there's so many times when I hear that and it's just like it's not fucking okay. And it's one of the ones that gets to me a little bit because it's like if you're going through something and I'm telling you, look, I'm sorry. I wish I can help you. When I hear it's okay or it is what it is, what I'm hearing is yeah, 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 whatever.
Hmm.
Right? Like that's just what I
Yeah.
hear.
It's very, dismissive.
And it's one of those things where it's like I kind of shut down at some points when I get like a
Yeah.
reaction like that because it's just one of those things where it's like if I'm saying I'm sorry and I wish I could help, what I'm saying is I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a hug, and whatever the fuck you're doing at this moment, I wish I could physically be there to help you.
Yeah.
And
It's sometimes it's the only way we could deal with it because, at the moment, we don't have anything, so
oh,
we're just like, "Yeah, it is what it is," like,
yeah,
you kind of brush it aside.
exactly. And there's times when like it's like it's a lot of wording for me because like I see it and I hear it a different way than probably how it's meant. You know, but like
So
that's just
especially if you're texting,
oh exactly.
it's
And
it
that's
doesn't
like
context is out the window.
and that's the thing is like like I would never trade out you know talking to this person all day long, right?
Yep.
It's been almost like I can't remember the last. I physically cannot remember the last day that I haven't sent them a message like as soon as I woke up and as soon and right before I go to bed. Physically cannot
Mhm.
remember the day that I haven't
And
done
that's
that.
good. That's, like, the best thing that's, like, one of the best things you can have.
Exactly.
You
But there
there's a
are
buddy of mine who I talk to on the phone every single day. I talk to
yeah.
him from, like, 6 to 7 today. on the phone,
That's fucking awesome.
you know?
But like that's like, and that's my thing is like, there's times when like I would love to have that. I would love to have that though. Like just like even with like that person, just even if it's just like like a quick like I send them a voice message, they send me a voice message, or like I get to talk to them for like 20 minutes, or just anything like that, right? And I
Yeah.
know that it's tough for people because everyone has their own shit going on, and I'm never gonna be like, you know what, fuck you for not talking to me. Well, I've been a work all day. Well, you know what, fuck you for being a work all day. No, I'm not gonna be that guy. Like, I understand people have their own shit going on.
Yeah. And that's
I,
actually what happened. My buddy called me today. He's like, "Sorry, I haven't been able to talk," because he actually is one of my best friends. He just moved out to Nashville,
mhm.
and he went through the whole thing. And then my other best friend moved to Arizona, and
Oh, jeez.
he helped him move to Arizona, and then he went to Georgia for the weekend. So I haven't talked to him in like a week.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, man, I love you." And like, I don't know. It's like really good to have good people in your life, and
Oh, I
like
mean,
that's the big.
it's like um having like almost a daily thing with Rob and Jeff. Like there'd be days when they ask, like, hey, are you okay? Like, you doing good? Like summing up,
Mhm.
and like they know that if I say like, look, I don't want to talk about it, like I don't want to talk about it.
Yep.
Like they know not to push it anymore at that point. But there's other days where like I'll be like, I don't know, man, like it's just like this or like that, and like they know exactly how to kind of walk me through it to get to me to either the point where it's like, look, I don't want to talk about it, or get me to the point where I'm going to talk about it. But I mean,
Because
like,
like even
go ahead.
well, even with us, like, yeah, we knew each other 10 years ago.
Mm,
I know you're a good dude, and we've reconnected through this, but we still don't know each other that well.
yeah,
Like, I've
exactly.
even reached out to you and been like, "Hey, man, are you good?"
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing
Like,
is like it's like you know like
hard thing is, like, identifying the energy when
yeah.
someone gives off that, like, something's going on. Not everyone has that, and that's not like
When that's
a
like
a drag on it, a dig on anyone. It's just
I was thinking
it's like
I was thinking about it today when I was at the stores. It was like it's like it's one of the it's one of the it's one, like and this is the dark humor that relates to being fucked up and
oh,
broken.
yeah.
But it's like it's like I fucking love the fact that no one can see no one can see my face, so I don't have to fucking hide anymore. That smile
Oh, the face mask is
because
like
it's
an anxious person's best friend.
because like it's like I've never thought of being of me having anxiety or me being anxious
Mhm,
until it happened. And like,
mhm,
of course, like everyone has it happen for little moments, but until you have that first big like attack happen, almost that fucking changes everything. Like for
yep,
me, I was walking home after a we just had a scrimmage, right? This is when I was coaching, first year coaching, and I was given the play sheet and I was signing it in, and I fucked up. The coach in my headset, I was just going down, and he changed the call, but I couldn't hear him in the headset because my headset wasn't working properly.
yep,
So I just called it going down the sheet, and he came over and ripped me a fucking new one. Right as I'm coming
mhm,
home from the fuck after the scrimmage, I'm thinking about it, and of course I'm walking. This is I used to walk half mile to school to go to practice, walk half mile
mhm.
to come back.
Do you drive? Odd side question.
No, I have my permit, but I do not have my license because that's
'Cause you
another.
mentioned a lot of walking, there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that, but I was just wondering if you had okay,
Nope.
I'm
Yeah, that plays into the whole.
anxiety thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Um.
I get that.
So, but
And
like,
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. So walking back, and suddenly out of nowhere, it got hard to breathe. Now this isn't
Yep.
like modern day husky where going up the stairs it gets hard to breathe because I'm a fat piece of shit. This is like
Life.
I was in a lot better shape, but like I started like I was getting weak. Like I kind of felt like I needed to fall down, and I'm on a fucking bridge. Like
Yeah.
crossing it, and I got my headset in, and I remember I called my dad and I was like, looked at, I was like, I think I'm having a panic attack, and my dad's like, wait, what? You're having a what? And I was like, I
I'm dying.
well, like, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. It was weird because like, it never has happened before. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And I was like, look,
When you're
I was like, look, I'm just kind of freaking. Can you come grab me real quick? And he was there, like,
yeah.
in no time. But it was a really scary fucking moment because it had never happened before. But like, since then, it's one of those things where like I haven't had one that bad before, but like
Mhm.
I do have them. Like I can think about something, or see something, and it gets to me, and the next thing I know is like almost like that.
You spiral.
Yeah, like almost like a hunger pain,
Okay.
but it's
Yep, that's a
deeper,
good way to describe it. Yep,
and it
and
just
you feel it in your chest too, it's
it's
not just in your
exactly. It's just like, and it's
yeah.
like it happened. Like I said we're going to open up. Um, this happened fucking yesterday. Um, I was
Sorry.
I was watching something. Oh no, not even watching something. I was looking at something, and something set me off, and it wouldn't stop in the back of the head. The voice just wouldn't stop. You know,
Yep.
they don't they don't fucking care. No one cares. No one fucking likes you. Just fucking shut up. No one likes and it just kept going and going and going. And eventually it got to the point where like I said, it was almost like a hunger pain. It was like right at the bottom of my chest, went into my chest, and like it was there. And it wasn't a sharp pain, but it was just a dull, hollow pain.
Mhm, mhm,
And like
and you're just on edge.
that didn't go away for maybe 2 hours.
Yep.
And it was just and as soon as that happened, it's just like all of the things in the head and out are just moving faster, right?
And in the moment, you can't explain this feeling you have,
Exactly.
especially that first one, but, like, and even times later on, you can't you, like, you can reflect on this later on, but at the
Mhm.
time, you're like, "This is the worst thing I've ever gone through."
Oh yeah, I
I
mean it's like it's crazy to think that at at 32, I still
Yep.
am dealing with bullying.
Why? You're beautiful.
So one, self-conscious, so I think I'm a fucking troll of a man. Um, but like the amount of times, and it's one of those things like I'm not lying to make up sympathy. I'm not trying to fucking oh, poor
Hey,
husky or
I'm
anything
right
like
there
that.
with you, brother.
Like there's been times in the last year where I'm walking back from the store and someone drives by and yells, "Hey, fatty," as they're driving by.
Oh, hey, I stopped I used to go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week
Hmm.
until maybe 2016, 2017, because people would come up to the gym and be like, "Why are you even working out?
Hmm.
You're still gonna be fat." People fat shaming is a very real thing, and I'm not like, no fat shame." I'm just like, people
It's one of those like
it's almost like racism where people, like, can't believe someone would say that to another person.
yeah.
It's the same thing, it just doesn't have any hate.
Well, and it's one of those
It's
things as well where, like, because of course the funny one is that since I've been streaming, I see it in chat. I've had it happen tons of times in different things, and it's one of those things. It's like one, there's no need to say it, right? It goes back to the old
no,
thing you're told as a
like,
fucking child.
"Cool, dude."
If you don't have anything good to say, don't fucking say anything. But then the second thing is it's one of those things where like you know we as big people know we're big.
Yeah,
I
get
I
creative with it.
I know I'm unhealthily big.
Yeah,
I know this for a fact. There is no reason at any point during a day someone should look at me and say something about it,
yeah, and
right?
also, like, you're walking, like, come on,
Well, that's
man.
the thing is like, so I used to go. There was at one point, there was a time when I was going during the summer. I'd walk to the high school because we have a track.
Yep,
So I'd walk half mile to the high school. I'd walk 6 laps, so that'd be a mile and a half, and then I'd walk half mile back home. So then that way, then I get in like the full, like 2 3 miles sort of thing.
yep.
Um, and I used to have it happen then. Like I'd have people fucking drive by yelling shit, and it's just like it's one of those things where it's like that can really fuck with people, and it has fucked with like for me personally. I know for a fact it's fucked with me, because like I said, I already know I'm a fat fuck.
Oh, hey, man, I have a really hard time eating in public
Oh, 100%,
because, like,
hundred
people
percent.
look at you and you're like, "Yeah, fatty," like and, like, even if, like, you're at a restaurant and you're eating the same thing as another person, people will stare at you and, like, you're like, "How dare you? Like, do you really need that?"
Oh yeah, I mean one of the worst ones for me is like so it is that it's like it's like yeah it's like well oh yeah well I want to order this and this and this, and then like the person that's like taking your thing is like, oh, is there anything else? Like that sort of thing. And it's like, okay, listen up here, fucking, smart ass. Like,
Oh yeah.
but like the other thing for me as well is that so for me, I have a separated detrum,
A what?
separated detrums in my nose, or something's fucking up with my nose.
Septum?
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Something's fucked up
Okay.
with my nose. Easy wording, not medical terming.
Okay.
Easy wording. Something's
Nose
fucked up with
nose
my
all
nose.
fucked up.
Yeah, nose. My nose all fucked up. Um, so sometimes like I do have to eat with my mouth open because there are physically times where I feel like I'm going to choke.
Okay. And they're
Be-
like, "You fucking
So I
fat
get well.
piece
That's
of
the thing. It's
shit."
like I get self conscious about that because it's one of those things where like, of course I know not to eat with my mouth fucking open. I'm not a fucking Neanderthal. Like I know not to do that.
Hey, it is what it is. One of my best friends is a pharmacist,
Hmm.
is a doctor, and he still eats with his mouth open. And I'm like, "You're a fucking doctor. Chew with your mouth closed." He's like, "The food's so fucking good though." So I'm sorry, I had to throw that one in.
um,
I love that dude. Chews with his mouth open.
but yeah. No, I mean, I think that especially with COVID, I think it's opened a lot of eyes. One of the other things to go really quickly, hitting back on the suicidal thought one, because that one, of
Yeah.
course, is the hottest of hot button topics.
Trigger points.
Yeah. Um. Uh. When I was a kid, I don't ever remember it being talked about as much as it is now. That could simply just be for the fact that we're older now, so we're like, it's we're able to talk about
It
it.
wa
It's like,
it wasn't. 'Cause even when, like, 2010, 10 years ago, tw
mhm,
11 years ago, it wasn't talked about like it is now.
yeah.
'Cause, like,
Um.
I was going through it it started in high school, like, the first time I tried to kill myself, I was a senior in high school, and
Mhm,
that was, like, a big, like, not stigma, but, like, taboo. It was a big taboo thing,
yeah.
especially like, like, with school and like, cause like, even now I still go through with it, and,
Mhm,
like, most of my vacation time, I don't use for vacation time now. I use it for, mental health days,
mhm.
like,
Yep. I yep. I
I never use my
completely
vacation time for vacation time,
I
and
completely get that.
HR
Yep.
has a huge problem with it,
Mhm.
and then but, like, so with the company I work for, I don't work for a small company, I work for a large corporation.
Yep.
Might as well be a corporation. So, all our sick time, personal time, stuff is in one thing, and they're like, You can't use it for that." I'm like, "But that's the point of it." And they're like, "I
Mhm.
can use it for whatever I want."
Yeah.
And then so there's HR, and then there's a whole 'nother department that handles time off, and they're like, "No, that's he's allowed to do that." And HR is like, "But we don't think he can." They're
Yeah.
like, "No, this is like no, this is what it's drawn out to be. There are no sick days. There's no everything. It's all personal time off
Mhm.
because we got tired of you saying what people can and can't take time off
Yeah.
for."
I mean, that's like I because I've had this talk before where like the last vacation I went on was when I was after senior year at Norwich. After my first senior
So 10 years ago.
year. Every time I've had vacation hours, I've used them either like I want to take a day off early.
Mhm.
I just don't want to go into work that day. I have nothing to do.
Yep.
Um, like I literally like
How dare you do that?
oh yeah, and that's the thing is like at first I was getting like criticized for it, 100%.
Yep.
And then as
Mhm.
time went on, it was just kind of like yeah, whatever. That's just what Husky does.
Yep.
Um, but it definitely feels like suicide is a lot more open thing now. Like one
It
of
is in certain worlds.
yeah.
I'm in the blue collar world, and oh boy, is it still
Hmm.
like you how dare you like, don't talk about that. Like, I don't like my boss, like I work in a small department of 3 people. My boss, upper management know about it, and my coworker knows about it, but like I have not said a word to anyone else.
Oh yeah, I mean it's my
They just think I'm a fucking weirdo.
mm, so of course for a lot of people who don't know I moved here from England. Um, the kid that I first met when I moved here, Scotty, he um, killed himself very shortly after I got back from college.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's still It's one of the ones that fucks with me in my head because we were good friends and we used to hang out and we used to do stuff every now and then when I did come back from college. And then I think it was senior year when I was there, he had a bunch of shit happen and there was no one there for him because, of course, I was at college and I was one of his closest friends, and everyone else apparently turned their back on him. So like I always do go back to thinking about that at times, but like I never, thinking about the kid, the smiling kid that used to run from his house to my house while I was on the bus, trying to keep up with the bus, and then we were gonna play games. Um, thinking about that kid to how did he get to a point in his life where he needed to kill himself? Like how did he get to that point? And like that's one of the things is like, and I've never gone through with trying. I have thought about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it always comes back to the same thing. I can't do that to my mom and dad, and that's kind of the thing that does ground me. But then recently, one of my really good friends, dear, she said, "So what happens when they're not there?" And I said, "Yeah, that's something that I think about a lot."
You just gotta learn to live for yourself.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like you know enough about me to know me, right? So like people out there
Yeah.
know what they see of me. I have both my parents. I went to college. I've had a good growing up. I have a apartment. Um, kind of sucks. Um, I have a decent job that allows me to do what I want. Um, but I'm not happy. I can't remember the last time I was fully happy for like a long period of time. And it does get to me. There's a lot of days that it does get to me, and recently I've just kind of stopped trying to hide it because it takes too much effort to try and hide it. It's that thing where like I've been streaming for 2 years, and there's still times when I don't want to turn the webcam on. There's times when I actually think about like I'm gonna stream today, but I'm not gonna stream with a webcam.
You gotta do it.
Well, it's like and it's like I fucking hate the way I look. I hate the way I
Mm-hmm.
sound. There's been days where like it's like, look, I'm just gonna turn my mic off and just let the guys talk, and that's what they'll fucking hear. Like there won't be no webcam, no me, just the guys, and it's just gonna be the footage of the game. Like depression
It's
is a
a
weird
lot of
one.
hating yourself.
Well, that's the thing is like like it's one of those things where I saw something where it said, if you got $500,000, how the fuck was it worded? It was a joke. Someone like it's like the person you hate the most gets like gets $1,000,000, but
Yeah.
you get like 500,000. I was like, that's awesome. I get $1.5 million. Like fuck yeah, like
You're like,
let's go.
cool, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, I
Um,
I can say I do fucking hate myself.
mhm. So I was like that for a very long time. And my big thing, it's not the same thing for everyone,
Hmm.
is managing expectations.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
'Cause, uh, I think as Americans, we're led to believe that we need to have the best of everything. We need a big house, big yard, family,
Hmm.
and you know what? Like, that's not it's not in the cards, or it's not what everyone needs. And, like, sometimes you don't fit the mold, and that kinda makes you feel out of place.
Oh yeah.
And, and also, like, you think that everyone is happy all the time, and, like, not everyone's happy all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I had an assistant at one point who he was Mr. Happy.
And you're
Like
like, "Get out of my
what
fucking face."
well, like, and that's the thing, right? There was days when like it was like he would force it to be the best day ever. And it's one of those things. It's like I saw him upset like once,
Yeah.
And there was plenty of days when it's like I'm just in a shit mood. I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. This sort of thing. Meanwhile, he's like trying to be happy and try and be cheery and hey, come on, buddy, let's go do. It's like shut the fuck up, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And it was just be going on, and it's just like I can't do that.
I worked with a guy just like that, and then I like it's still a good friend of mine now.
Hmm.
I had to be like, "Hey, man, some days I'm gonna be in a shit mood, has nothing to do with you, but when that happens, I'm gonna let you know, and
Yeah.
please don't hold it against me, and it's not personal."
Well, like that's
I Good.
no, no. You finish. You finish. You finish.
No, that's it, like, that was really it, like, I just it's not always personal, and sometimes you need to put yourself first,
Oh yeah. Well, it's like
and that's
I was gonna say like for me like there was the like I fucking how the fuck do I word this? I don't want to ever I don't want to ever treat people the way I don't want to be treated, right? But
Yep.
I take that a little bit too far. I take it very personal. And I think it's because of the whole, football brotherhood mentality. Because it's one of those things where, like, it's like I'm never gonna treat you how you wouldn't treat me.
Yep.
We're literally like we were here for the same fucking reason. We're here to play football. We're here as brothers. I need to trust you. You need to trust me. That sort of thing. So like that sort of friendship and bond has really kind of fucked me up when it comes to people because that's how I think a lot of times. So there'd be like times when there's shit that happens or people will say something or like when I'm joking.
Yep.
Um it's obvious I'm not gonna be a total douchebag about it. There's people that I know, not saying any fucking names. So everyone out there fucking think away if this is you. But like there's like one very specific one that like they're just a douchebag to people.
Mhm.
Like an absolute scumbag. And then they laugh it off. And everybody just goes, "Oh, well that's blah blah blah." Or "Oh no,
Yeah.
they're just telling oh no, they're just being funny." Or "Oh no, that's just who they are." Or that sort of thing. And it's like, "No, no, 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 no. If you were to treat them the way they fucking just treated you, they would immediately start acting like a victim. They would immediately start fucking complaining about it." And it's at that point that's
Yeah.
when like for me in my head I don't understand at that point because it's like I'm literally telling you evidence and showing you that this is fucked up. I've literally seen this person ream out a person that he calls a friend for 3 minutes and seen the person that he's reaming out, seen him physically degrade. Like I've seen it on stream. And then it's just a goofy laugh at the end of it, and everything's supposed to be fucking fine.
Makes it better.
And it
I don't know.
and that's the thing
It's
is it fucking like but that's the thing it's like oh well it's okay and I'm like that's not okay and it's like well it is what it is or it's okay and that's when that shit starts hitting and it's like it's not fucking okay like you're being that dude is being a douchebag that dude is being a fucking asshole that dude is basically being a bully and by you knowing that fully seeing it and saying oh it's okay you're just as bad as they are and
It
like
just
I
it's how a lot of people are, and everyone's in their own little world.
like
I'm
I
sorry, I
just
interrupt I
well
totally
no no
interrupted you.
I like I just I'm heated with it because it happened recently
Mhm.
with something. And it's one of those things where it's like, I fully 100% know if you were to do what they did to you, they would fucking lose their mind and make a big deal out of it.
Mhm.
But because they did it to you, it's okay. Right. And like, I can't understand that. And I don't understand it. That's the thing though, is like, this is one of those things that like, this happened like 4 days ago.
Someone you play with?
Well, I'm not going into who. I'm not going
Okay.
into any of that.
That's not what I meant, but
Yeah,
it's someone you
it's
know of
it's
and
it's
know.
someone that I know. It's people that I know, and it happened for like 4 days ago. But that's what I'm saying though. It's 4 days later, and I'm still this fucking wound up about it because it does like it doesn't fucking make sense.
And that's like and not to steal from that, but that's like a anxiety thing.
And that's the
And
thing, right? Is it's like it's like it's there. It's back here now.
it's hard to let things go when your mind's racing. Like, it's a big thing for me is when I'm driving is
Hmm.
sometimes like if someone cuts me off or does something, I will sit with that for like an hour. And it's not like a road rage thing where I'm like, I'm gonna go shoot that person. I'm like, how dare they do that to
Hmm.
me? And like I sit with it for a while.
When that's the,
And
like, and that's the thing, right? Is it's just like, because like, and like I've, like I said, I've seen it both ways. I've
yeah.
seen it where this person freaks out on someone, and I've seen the person that he's freaked out on, like, fully watch them absolutely degrade. You can just see everything drains out of them.
Mhm.
But then it's like a laugh and it's a giggle and everything's okay. But then I've also seen it where someone's done it to back to them, and then they lose their fucking mind.
How dare you?
Exactly, and it's one of those things where it's like I can't fucking stand it, and then it's just like such a fake thing, and it's just like I don't like. I like there's people that I've talked to that agree with me on this, and it's like yes, I see this, yes, I understand this, yes, that makes sense, I've seen it, yes, and then there's other people that just are fully just combative against it, where it's like no, it's not like that. You just don't know them,
Mhm.
and it's like I'm sitting there like, look, I'm not trying to fucking lie, I'm not trying to make shit up, like. If you're a fucking bad person, you're a bad person.
I've been guilty of it, and then and then it's like, "Oh, fuck, I fucked up." And that's like that's with me is like
Mhm.
where I really try to be like, "I fucked up," because like sometimes
Oh,
I'll get mad
100%.
playing a game, and then I'll go because even like we had a thing where I was making fun of Wonder Woman,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, "Nah, my bad, dude. I was playing
Well, like,
around."
and that's the thing, right? Is like that was just like like we were just fucking around with it, but like
And
like
that's
we knew.
at the end of the day, I really wasn't trying to like make you feel bad about it.
When that's the thing, right? Like we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like it's I don't know, man. It's like I can't deal with that sort of shit. I don't do well with it because I'm one of
Yeah.
those people where I mean, like you see it on stream. I'll fucking choke a win or I'll fuck up and do something. The very first thing I do is I'm not blaming someone, and if I do, you better believe I have a giant cheeky smile on my face as I'm doing it, and I'm laughing while I'm saying it. But other
Oh,
than that,
yeah.
I'm 100% like I fucked up. That's on me. I didn't win that. I'm not
You're
the
like, "Oh, I
person.
didn't reload my gun."
Yeah, I'm not the person that's saying like, oh well, you guys fucking suck because you weren't there, and you need to get there, and how dare you not be there, and why am I the only one here, and I'm fighting fucking 10 people by myself, and it's like shut the
Unless you're
fuck
Birdie.
up.
Birdie, if you're listening, it's 100% your fault. You ran away from us.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is it's like but like that sort of stuff though gets to me, man. Like that, like you can tell I'm fired up right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like it, like that shit gets to me because it's just like,
And, and I don't know if it is, but in my opinion, I think that it's a direct correspondent to being anxious.
hmm
And, because like, I also go through panic attacks. The funny thing with me is most of my panic attacks happen while I'm sleeping.
okay,
Like, I'll wake up with a panic attack, and it'll be,
yep,
like, the worst thing in the world. Had one last Sunday, probably was the worst one I've ever had. I actually had to call out of work Monday,
that's
and
wild.
I hate talking about it, and I hate being a bum like that,
hmm
but I'm not I from, like I was awake from 12 AM Monday morning to 6:30 AM in my bed, like, I need to get I'm like, I've what the fuck's going on with my life? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing the wrong things? I'm like, can I make it through my day at work today through after all this? And
hmm
I called out of work because I was like, I'm a fucking hot mess.
hmm
If I if so a big thing I'll go through with what I do in a couple minutes, but like if I go through a day, it's very likely I could die at my job if
Okay,
I'm in a mental space like that.
yeah, that's not good.
And so,
Yeah, that's not good.
um, yeah,
Well, like going when we were talking about nightmares, right? This is where I
yeah.
brought up the whole nightmare thing. I've had nightmares since I was a kid.
Mhm.
Um, and it
Can I ask you a question about that?
yeah,
Have you ever noticed, if you because I also have nightmares.
okay.
If you sleep a certain way, do you ever notice that you get them more than other times?
Um, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I mean, mine seem to always happen. If I'm not in a great, if I'm in a
Okay.
bad state, then mine happen. Mine are like it's weird because mine are always the same thing. It's always the
Oh,
same nightmare. It's just different people.
you wanna talk about it?
So, and like I said, this is from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's gonna sound fucking stupid. but
It's
um,
not because it's important to you.
exactly. Um, so it's me and however many fucking people I have in there. But they all mean something very specific and significant to me. And it's we're basically being hunted by dinosaurs.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know, I know, I know.
I'm very sorry.
Um, no, I mean, trust me, trust me. But
I'm an asshole. I laugh at things. It's like my bad thing about me.
it's the dark humor broken
Yeah.
response thing, right? Like we laugh at
It's
fucked up shit.
very, very broken. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But no, like and they kill everyone but me as we're running away, and I have to watch. Yeah, like so, like I in the nightmares, I physically see the people die, and
Mhm.
it's one by one. It's not ever me at any point before the people. It's everyone that I fucking love being taken away from me. And right before I'm supposed to go, that's when I have the sudden jolt up, sweat. You're fucking, now fully awake. Doesn't matter what time it is. Um, like that happened recently, and I honestly thought I was having a fucking heart attack when I woke up because my heart was racing that bad. Like it is, and it's weird because like I'm fine with dinosaurs, like I'm fine with all that shit.
It just doesn't make sense. Why?
And like I said, it was ever since I was a kid. I was a little kid. I remember it specifically as a kid, um, happening where I lived, and it was just it's like, and I think
No,
that
but
it
did you have trauma based around dinosaurs?
nope.
Okay.
No, I think it was just something that honestly, you know what I think it was like there was one day when I watched Jurassic Park when I was like 5,
Yeah.
and that shit scared the living shit out of me. And like
uh,
at that moment, that was kind of like that was it, and like it's never gonna change now, sort of thing.
what's that movie? You know that movie where death comes after you? Final Destination.
Mm,
Like Final Destination, I saw Final Destination 2, I saw in 4th grade.
yep.
I was s deathly afraid to go on the highway with my parents. I don't did you ever see that movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that highway
Hmm.
scene, it fucking sat with me for, like, a year or 2 at
I think mine also just plays into the whole like, and like this is one of the things we kind of we messaged a little bit about, but the whole being alone thing.
yeah.
Hitting back on that from the very beginning. I'm alone. I'm always a fucking alone. Um, and it's
Do you
not.
have a girlfriend or anything?
I have a girl that I talk to daily.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, okay.
yeah, no, I mean,
We don't need to go into that more.
yeah. But like, I mean, that's the thing is like, I've been at work functions with the entire company, right? There's only 10 of us, 12 of us, whatever. I'm still alone. I'm surrounded by people, and I'm alone. And
It's a very big part of anxiety, depression, and is
mhm,
being dissociated, and that's another, classification of, like, a diagnosis is dissociative personality disorder,
yep,
and that can be a huge range of things, and not and, like, because I have at one point gotten diagnosed with that from, a trauma intake when I was, like, at a really bad place, even after Norwich.
mhm.
Um, and it's and a big part is seeing yourself in the 3rd person.
Oh yeah,
So, like, you kinda see things, out of reality of what it is. Like, you may be in the moment, but things kinda zoomed out, like, you have, like, look almost like you're
out of body
looking through the
almost.
yeah, or, like, have you ever looked through binoculars?
Yeah,
Through the backside, the
hmm,
opposite side?
yep,
Everything seems so far away, but you're right there, and
hmm.
that's, like, a big part of dealing with mental trauma not trauma, but, like, dealing with all of this, and it's hard to get back into that because I was like that for a very long time, and at the last couple of years have been very good for me.
Hmm. That's good to
I've
hear. I'm glad to hear that.
Um, Anxiety is a huge part of my life still, but
Mhm.
depression I've pretty much I've learned to manage. Last time I was on antidepressants was about a year and a half ago, and all right, well, this is a fun. Also, back to the nightmare thing. I have
Mhm.
nightmares if I sleep on my back, completely
Okay.
on my back, like like how you sleep in a coffin, just
Mhm.
straight on your back. If I sleep on my back like that,
That's how.
guaranteed nightmare,
Oh,
guaranteed nightmare,
that's fucking wild. Yeah, no,
guaranteed.
I haven't even thought about that with it.
Um, it's a weird self. If try to think of that next time. It's a very it's I read it. I did a lot of research on this. Not a doctor, no college degree. The way the blood pools in your head reflects how you think when you sleep.
Oh, interesting.
Um, so even if I sleep on my back, I can't sleep directly on my back, like both shoulder blades against the back of my bed.
Hmm.
So that is a thing with me that I've learned that's helped. Not 100%, but it has. It's I can't sleep directly on my back.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going. Um, so antidepressants.
Hmm.
Big thing with antidepressants for me. I don't know if you've ever been medicated.
Nope. I'll get to that in a minute.
Um, can't I can't come on antidepressants. And that's I know that took that in a weird direction, probably not where you're thinking. Um, and so
Fucking love it.
along with the other flurry
I mean,
of
I don't love that you can't come when you're on antidepressants,
nope,
but
I know what you meant.
okay,
Uh,
good.
I'm very honest. I'm very, very honest about these things.
Yeah.
A big side effect of me being on antidepressants is I can't come,
Hmm.
and I've never been on one. I've been on probably 12 different antidepressants,
Okay.
and every single one I cannot come, and I can get hard, can't come. And then I've had other things like there's one I'm allergic to,
Hmm.
which makes me physically ill. And I don't know if you know that much about antidepressants. You have to take them for a while
Yeah,
before they do
because it
anything.
has to build up in you. Like you have to
And
go. Yeah.
then if you're gonna stop taking them, you can't just stop taking them.
Yeah, you got to almost wean yourself off, right?
No, you can't say wean because that's implying that it's a physical dependency.
Ah,
So there's a whole slew of I'm like it's a whole thing. Um
Jesus. Didn't
and
know that.
so can't come and especially if you're in a relationship with someone
Yeah, that's
um
well, and that
and
and
you're on
fucking I talk about fucking, you know, Jesus.
so that really wears on you
Yeah.
and then you're already kind of in a weird mind state that you're because I don't some people 100% be on medication. It
Mhm.
helps a lot of people. A lot of people makes their life 10
Mhm.
times better. They're able to function as a full member of society. I've never found something that's helped me be normal, quotes.
Yeah.
I've always felt not myself, sick. I get vertigo from a lot of them.
Mhm.
Um, I gain weight or get fatter than I already am. And then I can't come and can't not being able to come is like a it's it's a weird feeling, man.
Yeah,
It's like
I can honestly say I don't know.
and the last antidepressant I was on was one that a lot of people take because it doesn't mess with your sexual functions.
Okay.
And that was a fucking lie.
That was a fucking lie. Sorry.
No, no, I said that's why I said it. And like I was actually senior year of high school. I'll talk about it.
Mhm.
I volunteered to be put in hospital because that's
Okay.
how bad it got.
Shit, didn't know that.
And so that was like my second semester of my senior high school. Like
Mhm.
I already knew I was going to Norwich. I knew like I'd had already things my life planned, and then I fucking I didn't know what to do with my life. I was very suicidal. I used to cut myself. Used to cut my wrists.
I have a scar too.
Yeah,
That's one that a lot of people don't know.
and so
and which is fucked up because I have one on my forearm right here,
Yep.
which is from work.
Hey, that's
It's
that's another thing. I have scars everywhere, so you can't tell.
yeah. Well, like, well, that's the thing, right? Is it's like well, the worst part is it's like because of course my skin's kind of pale, so you can see some of the vessels and everything. But it's like right across one, and it's like right at the But it was from I picked up a box and it was like 50 pounds, and the edges on it slit into my arm as I was putting it on the scale.
Mm,
And as soon as it happened, I looked and I was like, well, that's not a good look. Like,
it's never a good look,
no.
and, so that's where I was into where I am now,
Hmm.
and, it's it's hard, it's a hard journey, man,
Oh yeah, I mean and that's the thing.
uh,
It's like like there is no
it
there is no right answer.
no,
That's honestly the worst part is that there is no right answer,
there
right?
is a
Like,
wrong answer, I will tell you that, don't kill
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. No matter what, yeah. Um, yeah.
I'm gonna take a page out of, the gay handbook, I will say it does get better, and whenever anyone ever said that to me, I was like, "Dude, fuck off."
Mhm,
Like, do not tell me that. Like, fuck you, you don't know what I'm going through.
mhm.
It does get better, and
Um,
you you really it's day by day. You gotta live day by day, and, things especially with the quarantine right now, it fucking sucks.
yeah.
But it's all
Um,
it re at the end in reality, that's all it is, it just fucking sucks.
oh
It's
yeah.
not
Well, I guess the thing that I was gonna say was that like going back to what you were saying about like being medicated and everything. I've um never told the doctor or anything. I mean, my dad just recently started watching videos, so if my dad watches this one, this would be a really fun one for him to fucking watch.
Sup,
Um,
Mr. Husky.
yeah, what's up, Dad? Um, no,
Shout out.
I try to put on a smile and a happy face in front of them because I don't want them knowing. But no, I'm deathly terrified basically tell anyone a lot of
Mhm.
times because I'm a big dude.
We're men.
We're not even going into that aspect. I'm a
Yep.
big dude,
Yep.
you know, and I'm always looked at as being kind of like the strong guy, and it's the furthest from the truth. Like there are so many times when it's like, yeah, like I don't want to be here. If would anyone really fucking miss me if I wasn't fucking here? And like the amount of times that has gone through my head in the last probably year and a half. I
Mhm.
I can't fucking tell you. Just would anyone actually give a fuck? Would it just
I
be
don't
one
know
of
if
those?
this
Would it just be one of those things where like some people get a tattoo or some people get a bumper sticker, rip Husky, like that sort of thing, and then some stupid thing that they thought that I would like that they obviously don't know who the fuck I am, sort of
he was
thing.
my best friend.
Right? Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. The
I
person
was
having
so close to him.
yeah
I
the per
talked to him the day before, I had no idea, like
like all that shit, right? Like I always think about
yeah.
that sort of stuff, which is bad to say, but like no,
I'm
I'm
gonna delete my Facebook today, so when I die, no one can go on my page and comment on my
yeah,
Facebook.
right.
Uh, Been there. What's up?
Been there. What's up? Yeah, no, like I'm deathly terrified to open up about a lot of stuff, which is one of the reasons why
Don't be.
was like it's one of the reasons why like you see like I kind of I don't know for the people that are actually watching, I've been kind of avoiding camera talk and a lot of it I've just been playing with my hands because I fucking broke all my fingers and it's kind of this is a little bit of either one I'm basically making sure my hands work, or two, I'm just kind of fidgeting because I don't open up a whole lot. But no, it's like I know how fucked up I am. I know how mentally weak I am. I know how fucking
You're not
broken I
weak.
am.
Nope, you're not weak, you're not
Well, that's
broken.
the thing, right? Is it's like for instance, Glenn Rock in chat. People act people act as if you're not your harshest critic, and that's the thing. There's no person that's more harsh on them than me. Like
Oh,
that's
my dad's pretty harsh on me.
oh
I'm shocked.
I stopped drawing because of how harsh I am on myself. There's been times when I've almost stopped streaming multiple times in the last 2 years where I'm just like, you know,
Does it make you happy? Do you like doing it?
it's one of those things,
And it's
man. Like I like,
don't think
and this
about
is
it. Do you
well, no,
like
this
do
is
you
but that's the thing is like you say you don't think about it. That's another one of the
yeah.
ones that just because like as soon as anything like that is said, my mind just stops.
What so if you stop today, what would you do tomorrow? Like, say this was your last stream, what would you do tomorrow?
I would go to work and then I would come home and fucking do nothing.
And
Probably like
would you love that? Would you like that?
see, that's the thing is like I don't know. It's one. It's like I can't. I can't. I don't turn off. I can't turn off.
Mhm.
Like like I said earlier,
That's good.
I mean, it is because it keeps me busy and it keeps my mind kind of
Mhm.
um.
Hey, man, be very happy about that because my biggest issue, not woe is me, throwing that out there, is that I turn off.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I like that's the thing is like I get.
So, like, be very happy that I'm not saying okay, that's the wrong way to put it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
very
yeah,
sorry.
I know what you mean. But like for instance, like I've just been editing all day. I've been
That's good.
uploading. I've been editing. It is, but it's one of those things though where like because I think about it and it's like okay, I physically haven't talked to anyone today.
Uh-huh.
I've messaged a few different people. I've sent out a few different, things. Kind of, the "Hey, I'm alive" sort of thing. Um, but it's one of those things though, where it's like I wasted 8 hours of my day today just uploading stuff to YouTube, and like that, all that was I'm uploading on my main monitor, and on my second monitor, I'm either kind of like waiting for a response or I'm listening to fucking music, and eventually it's going to get around to, the sad two or three songs because I just have it on my mix, and, or my mind instantly goes, "Hey, remember that thing that happened last week?
Hey,
Yeah, remember when you said that one thing and then you didn't get the response that you wanted?"
yeah.
Like immediately like that, and that's my worst thing is that, like I sandstorm stuff. I don't know if you know
No.
about sandstorming. Um
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah, the
I don't
yeah.
know Sandstorming.
So
I'm sorry.
sandstorming is when you start with a very simple thing. So as just the why haven't they messaged you back? And then it turns into
Oh,
the
yeah.
"you're
Yeah, yeah,
annoying"
yeah.
to the "you're a nuisance" to the "they never actually liked you" to and it piles on, and it's one grain of sand, one
Mhm.
negative thought that just eventually becomes a sandstorm of thoughts, and it can, like, for me, I do that a lot. It can turn from just the
It's anxiety, man.
when that's my big thing that, like, as the years have gone on, that's what I've realized it is. But, like,
Yep.
for years, though, I never knew what the fuck it was, and it was one of those things
Um,
where, yeah, like I said, like, there are times when I will write a message and send it, and then I wanna write something else, and I will write it out and delete it
mhm,
5 to 10 times, because in my head, I don't wanna be a nuisance, I don't wanna be annoying, I don't wanna be bothering the person. And even if they tell me that I'm not doing any of those things, in
yeah.
my head, in my head, immediately my mind goes to, "You're just saying that to make me feel better." But that's what it is. And that's a
That's
fucking hard thing to get over. And it's like there's some people who don't
oh,
like
I get
it's
it, man.
yeah.
I same way. My big thing is just do it. Send it. Who cares? You know,
That's like
if that person does not accept that part of you, then
mhm.
that person I've cut people out of my life. That person does not accept that part of you, then they don't need to be part of your life.
That's
And
that's been that's been one of the hardest things for me
mhm.
is cutting people out.
I don't have hey, I don't have a lot of friends now. I've cut out like in the last few years, I cut out people who I considered family because
Mhm.
like
Oh,
um it you gotta like
I have
your
family
life's
members that
about
I
you.
don't talk to anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
This life isn't, like, I know how you talked, you think about suicide, what it's gonna do to your parents. That the life your life's not about them. Your
well,
life's about you. And
that's one of the
that's what's really. me. I again,
Mm.
not a medical person. This does not help for everyone,
Well, yeah, I
but
mean
this life's
that's
about you, and if those people are choosing to be in your life, give them every part of you.
oh yeah, I mean that's the thing is like it's like I like and it's like I said it's that thing of it's the good and the bad from the way that Norwich made my friendships because growing up in England I went to a English school for the majority of my life, like elementary school. Then I went to an American Dod school, which is like a Department of Defense school. So basically, it's
Oh,
like they're
okay.
teaching the American format, that it's not the English format. So I went to that for 2 years. So I grew up with a bunch of friends, then lost them, then made brand new friends for 2 years, then lost them, then went to high school for 4 years plus eighth grade, lost all those friends because then I went to college, and now the friends that I made in college, that's just my lifetime friends. But like the way that the friendships were built, the ones in college were just so fucking strong because of it being a football team and because of it being, it's like if we're all not in this together, we're not gonna fucking do this.
Mhm,
We're not gonna achieve the goal because like winning, having great seasons and winning championships are some of the best times of my life.
mhm.
And that comes down to the friendships that I had and that sort of stuff being built. So like there's like when I came back here, like I said, like I had no fucking high school friends. I already said one of them committed suicide. The coaches were my coaches, so that was just an awkward interaction thing.
One of my high school coaches, ended up being my roommate for a year. I lived with my one of my high school coaches.
See, I can do that. That would be fucking weird. Like I I don't know, man. I
I went back and coached freshmen for a year
mhm,
after I left Norwich, and I became really good friends with one of my coaches,
that's good.
and he was 44 at the time.
It's there was some of the coaches it was very easy to talk to about stuff, and then there was some other ones that were just
Yeah.
yeah. Like there was one coach that he made a kid take his shirt off and wear it inside out because of the football team that it was, and also he ripped into a kid because he was wearing a pink dress shirt. I did not like that coach.
Uh, the one time I'm like, "No fatties in white Under Armour." You'll never see me wearing white armor Under Armour.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, I'm
Um,
making a light of this bad situation.
but no, I mean
It's
that's
hard.
what that's the thing, right? Is like there's people that's what they do, right? Is
Yeah.
like that, and like it's a coping mechanism.
Mhm.
You look at some of the best comedians, and they're all fucked up. I mean, shit. I mean, look at Robin Williams, probably arguably one of the best. One of the better comedic
He is one
actors,
of the
and
most well-known comedic minds of all time.
and he committed suicide, right?
Part of that, I think he had dementia too,
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
that's kinda rough.
yeah. So I mean, it's one like
You know Freddie Prinze Jr.,
yes,
the actor?
yeah.
His dad was Freddie Prinze. Have you
Hmm.
heard of him?
Sounds familiar.
He was, in the '70s, he was I don't know, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle of the
Okay,
time, and then he ended up killing himself,
Jesus. I just
and it's just all you know,
this
that's
this
all I
this there's times when
there's
I wonder like it's kind of going off in a little direction, but
there's no wrong answer.
when when people say stuff like, do they actually fucking hear themselves saying it? You know,
No, me personally.
because like it's just like for instance, like I'll fuck around with like Rob or Jeff or something, but
Yeah,
like there's a difference between fucking around and then just really getting hurtful.
yeah.
And it really like there's people that honestly feel like they don't know the fucking difference. And even though it might be comedic or funny to them, to the group it isn't. But it's easier to just play along than it is to mention it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's comedy is a hard thing because, like, we're not comedians by any means, but, like, what's your my thing is always, like, what's your definition of comedy? That does other than something that makes you laugh.
That's actually a great question because I wouldn't know how to answer that.
So,
So okay, so what's yours? Here, give me yours.
my thing is saying so, like, a lot of things and it goes I'm not gonna get too political or any of this.
Okay.
It goes along with, like, today's cancel culture and this and that. Um, a lot of people think they're funny if they say the right thing or wrong thing at the right time.
Hmm.
But then comedy is to me is saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Okay, that makes sense. I've
And
heard
that
that before.
is not necessarily I don't it's I think that comedy should be something that's it goes against the grain.
Yeah.
And that's not and sometimes that it is making fun of someone, but you gotta make fun of yourself too. You
Hmm.
gotta give because like I make fun of myself every day. Even if it's just me being a weirdo going at my job, I'm
Well, and
like,
that's and that's
"Jeez."
and that's part of the that's goes into the not the really anxiety, but just the almost like the coping mechanism thing.
Yeah,
A
and
little bit. Is it's like it's like shit's uncomfortable, shit's uncomfortable, shit's uncomfortable. If I make fun of myself, then no one else can make fun of me. And even if they do, I've already made fun of myself, so fuck you. Like that
mhm.
sort of thing. Like, cause I was like that for a while, and then like I just like it was one of those things. Was like my own words were hurting more than they should.
For me, it's like if I sorry, I blue collar, I say the F word a lot. I'm very
No,
sorry for
I've
anyone
said
listening.
yeah. If people are here
Um,
that don't like hearing the word fuck,
uh,
they're not here.
this is literally what goes through my head. I'm like, I fuck up at work, and
Hmm.
I'll go, "You fucking idiot! Do
So
it
that's
right next time.
what's the,
You fucking idiot!"
so
And then
that's
it.
so that's one for me where, um, of course, everyone that sees me on camera just sees that like I'm broad chested, kind of a big looking dude on the camera, right? It's a little bit different that than seeing me in person. Um, I I get mad at work if I fuck up, and I get mad at myself because I know I shouldn't fuck up, right? I've been working
Yeah.
here for fucking 10 plus years. I shouldn't be fucking up a label. I shouldn't be writing the wrong number. So if I get like verbally loud and like aggressive about it,
Mhm.
it's a terrifying kind of act because of how large I am. And there was a point where the owner of the company, we brought in someone new, and they actually told them that I was the big angry guy.
It's not funny, but I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, it's one of those things. Like,
He's
I
big angry guy, but he doesn't mean anything by it.
that's like he didn't go into that part though.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he just went into straight up the I'm the big angry guy. So we got a brand new person that came into work, and they refused to come out back to where I work in like the workshop. They refused to come
Yeah.
out back for like half a year, and if they did, they always brought someone with them
Oh, okay.
because I was the big angry guy. And it's one of those things like people see me get angry on stream if I'm playing a game or something like that, but like
Mhm.
I fucking hate confrontation.
Yep.
Like I do everything physically possible to avoid a confrontation. Like even like and like I was talking to Charles about it, I think. It was either on the podcast or afterwards. Like if I'm playing with Jeff and Rob and they're talking and I want to say something, I will fully wait until they're stopped like until they stop talking. Because I don't want to
Same.
talk over them. Because
Yep.
I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to confront that. Like I like that's just it's you know.
You always feel like a fly on the wall that you always feel like you're a fly on the wall, but you're a full-size person next to a
Hmm.
group of people.
Yep.
Um,
It's
and
it's
it's
the
just
third wheel thing. Like I have
yeah,
always felt like the third wheel. Doesn't matter what the situation, doesn't matter what's going on. I've always felt like the third wheel.
same.
Um,
And that's, like, why and that it comes back to, like, when I found you on like, you were streaming on Facebook and I've dropped in,
mhm,
I was very much like, "Hey, man, I hope it works out. I'll support you. I don't wanna intrude,"
mhm,
'cause
yeah, I
I
don't.
like, you guys had this very
I
like,
remember.
you guys had this very established thing, and, like, I didn't want to, like, butt in because 'cause I'm like, I feel like an outside not, like, because you made me feel like an outsider, but I
Hmm.
always feel like an outsider, and that was, like,
Exactly. Yeah.
where I came from.
Well,
And
that's the thing, right? It's just like, you can personally feel like the outsider, while everyone else says that you aren't. You know, it's like I always do real bad with, like I said earlier, with the way people word stuff. My dad was in the Air Force and he did a lot of paperwork stuff, and like, so he taught me, like, I'm terrible with English, but it's surprising how good I am with English. Um,
I speak English good.
I speak the British good. Um, but like, there's certain things like I read into it too much, right? Like
Oh
that
yeah.
sort of thing. Like, and
It-
it's the reading into it, but it's not. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, well, it's like we're play eventually together, and it's like, okay, well, I've seen you playing with the same people every single day for the past 6 months, but yet
it's
you can't make
very
time to play with me, even though I have time off and I've asked, and like, so like that's one thing that will run through my head, right?
it's very hard to take things not personal,
And that's
even when they're not.
and that is honestly my biggest thing, is that I take literally everything personal. I take
And then
everything to fucking
yeah.
heart, because it's one of those things where, like, there's actually a Snapchat I haven't responded to, and it's actually been bothering me because I haven't responded to it. So I'm actually,
Anxiety, baby.
yeah.
So I was just it's hard, man.
Well, and
It
like
really
it's
is.
like, and that's the thing, is it's like I always try my best to answer people immediately.
Yeah.
Like, if my phone goes off, I want to answer immediately. Like, that has been bothering me, that I got a snap and I hadn't responded to it. Like,
It's
it like,
it's very funny because we're very similar. Like if
hmm
someone messages me, I feel like it's like I'm like if I'm like someone took time to message me, I gotta message them back.
yeah. I got
You know?
like my like I will fully be like, look, I've done it before. I did it. I said to Jeff and Rob at one point, I was like, look, I was like, I'm getting, I'm doing this night with this person, and they did the usual, like, ream out, jokingly.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
exactly, right. Like, oh, really, you're gonna leave us for them? Okay, I see how it is. That sort of shit. But it's one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like, if I say I'm gonna do this with you on this date, I'm doing, like, that's what's happening. I'm fucking, like, the board has been cleared. Your name is now there. Like, that's it.
Oh yeah, like when you asked me to do this, I was like, nope, yep, Sunday is this is that. I knew I had to clean out the garage today, and I started at 10. I went from 10 to 5, and I was like, I
hmm
got shit to do tonight.
So like, and I understand that, like, there's times when shit comes up, right?
Yeah.
Or emergencies happen or stuff like that. I understand that, but like, that's part of the whole, kind of like, anxiety thing with me, is that, like, it is a big, I take shit personally. So like, if I say, if I say something, I fucking mean it. And like, that's one of the big ones that I think that, like, a lot of people say, like, a lot of people say that, like, oh well, if I say it, I mean it, and that's not how they are. Like, if I fucking say it, I mean it. If I say,
I
like,
said I
look,
mean it unless it pertains to me.
yeah, it's like, if I say, like, look, like, I wish I could, I wish I could help. I physically mean, I wish I could be next to you, helping you do what you're, doing. If I say, like, look, like, like, just trying to think of fucking random shit, that I say like that. Um, I mean, that's the big one, really. Honestly, is I say I fucking, I wish I could help so much, because that's all I want to do. I want to help fucking, I don't like seeing. I'm fine with letting myself be in a shitty place as long as my friends are okay. And I've
It's
been,
very hard. It's not something that's talked about because like college kids have it very hard in a sense if it's not like a college in your hometown where
mm,
like all like so like I'm from New Hampshire and
mm,
like a lot like I think 50 kids from my high school went to the University of New Hampshire
Jesus.
and because I had a graduating class of 450
hmm
and and
That's that's
an eighth
fucking,
of them went to UNH
yeah.
and and like literally my friend who I said just moved to Nashville,
hmm
he went to UNH. Another friend who I talked to today went to UNH. It's just that's different because like all your friends that you have at school are, maybe people you went to high school with or people that are from the area.
Yeah.
But like, like you guys are all from different parts of
hmm
the country, Not really. Not John's in Florida now, like Fedge is in New York,
hmm
Scratchy's here. We're out yeah, same town as me, funny. And it's like, but you guys aren't close enough to like be like, "Hey, you wanna grab a beer this weekend?"
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's very hard to deal with, and,
Hmm.
like, I'm dealing with it right now, like, my really good friends are all moving away. I kinda just have work, which is fulfilling, but, like, goddamn, like, that doesn't make me happy. Like, it
Oh
makes me
yeah.
happy, but
I guess the thing is like it's like I'm kind of the same way because like I wake up early, like 5 early,
yeah,
almost every day. There's days when I don't, and that's it. Like if I fuck up, and I oversleep.
we're
But
not
like,
perfect.
yeah, I fucking tell you what. I'll tell you how much I fucking hate myself and rip into myself for that while I'm at work. Rushing in. Um, but like I try to get in early, and then I get out by 9. That's normally my time that I try to get out by. Between 5 and 9, I'm usually at work in the morning. Then I get on stream from 9 till 1, 2, depending on the day. Sometimes the long days is all the way through to 11. But then as soon as I get off stream though, like I'm not like going out and hanging out with people or anything. I'm either editing, I'm relooking at stuff, I'm trying to figure out new shit. Like I'm trying to do different stuff, or like.
Have you ever thought of doing Bumble?
Well,
Oh,
that's well. So I mean, let's fucking go down that
and I'm
fucking
half
dark path.
joking, but half like,
Yeah, let's.
you can meet
Well, I
male
guess.
friends on Bumble.
Well, let's go down that fucking dark path real quick, right? So, like,
Oh,
any of those
okay.
shit, like any of those ones, right?
Yep.
Um, the area that I grew up, the area that I, kind of moved here and grew up in. Most of the people that are here are still the people that I fucking went to school with. I can't fucking stand half those people.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
but then the other thing though is the fact of so, like we said earlier, don't have my license, so that makes it difficult to do anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, the the people that I have met, let's go through this fucking path.
Mhm.
Girl in college, met her, thought things were going well. Found out that she was fucking people on the side, and I found that out because every time she would call me after fucking one of them, she would say I love you so much, to open up the conversation.
Nice.
um Had a girl take 4 grand from me. We never ever did anything, and nothing was that. It's just that she just used me for that. I had a girl use me just for sex. I ended that shit quickly.
Nice, dude.
Um,
That's the one I will say, sorry.
um,
It's hard,
I'm
man.
so I talked to a girl for 3 months, met her in person, and she said, "Oh my god, I didn't realize you were this big," and then she left immediately.
Yeah, it's normal.
Um,
I go through that too, don't worry.
when like she physically said that to me in person.
Uh,
Like
yeah.
we were like, hey, we're gonna meet here. I met there. Like I went there. Like they were already there, and I was like, hey, like I'm Husky. Hi, you know. And they like to my face were like, hey, like I didn't realize you were that big. This isn't gonna work. And they got in their car and drove off.
Hey, silver lining, they were honest.
I mean, yes, they
They
were
they
honest,
coulda
but
they could've been
this
through
shit,
you talked for 3
this
months, and then
yeah,
you
but
went
that's
on a date, you thought it was good, and then she just ghosts you.
mhm.
Silver
um,
lining.
but like so like
Not great, but silver yeah.
yeah, I mean, so like that's just like that's part of the giant encyclopedia that I could open up. Of the you'll never be loved, you'll never find someone, you're a fat piece of shit, you don't deserve this.
What I
Um,
was going for was that, Bumble has a thing where
I'm
you
not
can
I'm not
do
finding a best friend on Bumble, dude.
Why not? Why not? What's wrong with it?
I don't get regular people talking to me on Bumble. You really think I'm gonna find a best friend on Bumble?
Why not? Oh boy, they boy Bumble.
Oh boy, yeah, that's just what I want.
So it's Bumble BFF is what it's called,
Oh my god, nah, I'm
and
good.
you've matched with men, and I can't promise none of those men wanna have sex with you, but you might find a friend in the area.
Yeah,
S
no,
local
it's
singles.
well, I guess it's just one of those things where I've of course there's a few guys from high school that I went to that I see every now and then, talk to them every
Yeah.
now and then. Um, there was a guy that became my assistant for a little bit. Me and him were turning out to be really good friends until he became an absolute fucking douchebag. Uh, um, but yeah, no, I just a lot of it for me is just self inflicted. Honestly, like
You gotta
I self inflict a lot of my own pain and misery, and
eh,
it's
I'm not trying to help you. I'm
no,
here
I
to
mean
try to
yeah,
help you.
yeah, no, go yeah.
Like, you just be I my what helped me, I've been in therapy, in and out of therapy.
Mhm.
I didn't even talk about that. That's a whole fucking can of worms. Uh,
I mean, you have nothing
you
to do. I
gotta
have nothing to
accept
do.
who you
Fucking
are.
open them up if you want.
No, it's I don't know. Uh, so
If you want
I've
to here, if you want to open them up, you open up. If you don't, you don't. Don't let me pressure you into it.
best therapist I ever went to was I'll throw this out there. Best therapist I ever went to was a drug therapist.
Okay.
I don't have a drug problem. I was in a very rough spot and I reached out for mental health counseling and I had smoked weed in the past year. It had been like 8 months before.
Okay.
And I smoked weed once at Norwich is what it was actually. One time. And I had gone out for help after I left school and I'd gone for help.
Mhm.
And I went to this counselor and they because I had done that in the past year, I was deemed a I had a drug habit.
Mm.
So they sent me to a therapist's office that had bulletproof glass and they were for high risk drug addicts.
Hmm.
So I met with
Mentally,
this
that must
woman.
have done a great job on you
So
at
so I
first.
went
Like,
I at first, but the therapist was like, "I don't know why they send you." I'm like, "I don't." At the time, I didn't drink. I had drank probably 10 times in my life. I was
mhm.
20 years old, 19, 20 years old. I wasn't a drinker until I was like a couple years later. Um, I didn't really drink. I had smoked weed a little bit in my life. I had smoked weed more than I had drank.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't know why they sent you to me, but we're gonna make the best out of this. And that was probably the best therapist I ever had. She was very cool. Um, it was probably good for her not to talk to someone who had a drug habit.
Mhm.
um, it's been a weird thing for me lately is I microdose mushrooms,
Okay.
and that's been like a very nice perspective thing for me. And like weed is actually a really good thing for my anxiety.
Mhm.
Not in the way where like I smoke and I have anxiety because I have anxiety. I smoke and then I have like mini anxiety attacks, and it really helps me put into perspective the things in my life of what I should value and not value.
Mhm.
Like I don't know who says it, but there's a thing where if it doesn't matter in 5 minutes that you shouldn't give it more than 5 seconds of your time.
Okay.
Um, like how I was talking about how like sometimes if like someone cuts me off, I'm like that motherfucker, that fucking dude ruined my day, and I'll sit with it, and then I'm like, why, you know, or like someone doesn't respond to my text message, I'm like, how dare they look at my text message and not respond to me? Like reality, like people have lives,
Exactly.
and so that's and like I smoke probably once a month,
Mhm.
and it's like a really good almost shock to my system,
Mhm.
and that's a me thing,
Yeah.
and
Like
that's not for everyone.
for me, I can't do that.
Yeah, and that's
There have been times
perfectly
where
fine.
like I hate feeling outside of my body, and it's one of the weird ones because like I've said it before, like I don't drink,
Yeah.
but I will have a drink every now and then,
Mhm.
which is funny because as soon as you say I don't drink, people immediately think like as soon as you have one, it's like hey, well, you lied to me, that sort of thing. Um,
People too caught up in their own shit.
but like I as you know, I used to drink in college. I used to drink fucking heavily in college. When I did drink, and I don't have an off button. And in my family, in my lineage, there's a very, very high thing of addiction. What the fuck's the word I'm looking for there?
And you just don't wanna go down that road.
Well, that's the thing. It's like so recently, one of my relatives is drunk in and out of rehab, in and out of jail, shitting on the floor because he physically can't control him, that sort of thing. And it's like I see that, and it's like that's not what I want to do. It's like would I ever let myself get to that spot? Probably not, but it's in my genetics.
You don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like it's in my genetics. Like, could it
Yeah.
happen? Yes, there's a chance that it could because it's like, my mom and dad both used to smoke cigarettes. My dad stopped cold turkey when I was born. My mom stopped and then started again and then stopped. Um, my dad used to drink, got a Dewey, stopped drinking. Um, so for me, like I very rarely drink. One of my coworkers always gets me a bottle of. Normally it's whiskey. He got me fucking Ice 101 this year, and I haven't even fucking touched it because
What is that?
it's like peppermint schnapps sort of thing.
Oh, gross.
Like literally, the last like 5 years, dude's got me a bottle of like whiskey, and then this year I get a fucking bottle of Ice 101, and I'm sitting there like, great, thanks. Like I didn't used to drink this in college and try to black out while I did. Um,
You're like brought me back to the glory days. Why did you get me a Four Logo?
exactly right. God, yeah, I don't want to think about those days back when they actually had caffeine in them.
Oh, that was my freshman year. That
Yeah,
was the good times.
yeah, those are the good days. I remember I had 3 of them one night, I think,
Oh my gosh.
just full of
Yes.
fucking.
So one
Um,
of the handful of times I drank at school, I had 2 of them at Keene, and Mitch Gaffney and I almost got arrested,
mm,
and we ended up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot.
Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, so like I quit chewing. I quit chewing
Yep.
because of addiction.
I
I
remember you were a heavy dipper. I do
oh I
remember that.
I got to the
That's what I
point
remember most.
when I came back home, I had to hide it from my parents because they didn't know I did it.
Yeah.
And my gums got so bad that I couldn't actually do regular, so I had to do pouches. But my pockets were so deep. So for everyone that doesn't know, when you chew a lot, your gum pocket grows. So a normal one little pouch is all that some people can put in their mouth. I had to put 4 at a time in. Like I used to stack them on top of each other and then put it in. I would go through 2 tins a day.
Oh, 2 tins a day.
Right before I stopped, I was going through 2 tins a day because I'd have a tin at work and I'd have a tin at home. And I tell the story now that it was back when I was playing games, not on stream. Didn't even know what stream was at that point. I'd play like football games. I'd throw a chew in, play the first half, take the chew out, get a bunch of water in my mouth, put another chew in, play the second half, play the next game, second half, first half, take the chew out, put a new one in, and I would do that all night.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so I'd do one at work secretly without anyone knowing, and then a whole 10. Some now was it every single day 2 tins? No, but the majority of the time was it yes.
Yeah.
Um, but like so like this like I've been cold. I've been off cold for what does this app say on my phone? 4 years, 8 months, 29 days.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah, like
I haven't smoked in over a year,
that's awesome. Good,
cigarettes, and it's not that
congratulations.
I was, like, a heavy cigarette smoker. I would, well, actually, at one point, I worked as a courier driver, and I would work from 10 PM to, like, 8 AM, and
Mm-hmm.
I would go through a pack during the shift, crank
Mm-hmm.
butt, like, driving, and I did that
I
for, like,
was
8 months
I was
to a
talking
year.
I was talking to someone recently. I think they said they went through like 8 while we were talking. We talked for like an hour. And like I think I went through like 8 or something like that. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. Um, that doesn't help, and that's, like, a very anxious thing. Uh, good for you, though,
But yeah, so
for
like
not
the,
being
the the addiction thing though, like that's like that goes. I was just trying to say like with the addiction, like I know that's a thing. So like in the back of my head, and it goes back to the anxiety thing. Is the and the voices talking because everyone has the voices. Everyone denies that they have the voices, but everyone has the fucking voices. Um, for me, like even if I have like one drink, go on have another. You can have another. You're fucking husky. You can have fucking a whole pack of these. You once drank a handle of Jack Daniels in 20 minutes. And like my brain would do shit like that. It's fine.
You know, the shitty thing for me is I don't get the voices when I drink, which probably is a
Well,
bad
I
thing.
mean, for me, it's anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's my thing. Sometimes they're louder than others. Sometimes they're just, it was one of the things when I was playing Hellblade. It actually fucked with me a little bit because I don't know if you've played Hellblade before. One
No, I
of
was coughing. Sorry, I have not played it.
so the main character in there hears voices. So
Okay.
when you're playing the game, there are constantly voices going on. And there's actually a scene, I don't remember where in it. If you watch the series, you'd see it. I actually kind of freak out and tell the voices to shut up.
It's not funny.
It was
That's
like it was
wild.
just yeah, it was one of those things that like I never thought that that would ever happen, but it did. Um, yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing therapy?
Yes and no. Yes and
Do you have
no.
health insurance?
Yes. I don't know what it covers, but I
I don't
have it.
know, man. I hate.
I
I'm not.
like I said, I'm.
Hey, for me,
It's
look into it because you don't
well,
have
that's
to
the thing,
do
right?
it.
So like my thing is like I know I probably should.
Mhm.
I know it would probably be beneficial.
And here's the thing, man. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep doing it.
Exactly. My thing is that like it's kind of the
You
same
might
reason
really
why
like
it's kind of the same thing reason why I don't go to the doctors.
it.
One, I don't want to give them my money. Two,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I know how fucked up I am. I don't need
Mhm.
someone else telling me and trying to fix me. You know,
It's not always that.
I know it
I
isn't,
will say.
and that's kind of
Sometimes it is.
that's the thing that sometimes gets to me is like it's like from things I've heard or um things other people have told me. It's like I know I probably should, but I'm genuinely, and it goes to the kind of the anxiety thing. I'm genuinely terrified because it's like I haven't had a checkup, like body checkup, right?
Yeah.
Since football season
Oh, okay. You've been
because
to the dentist?
nope,
Okay. You should go to the dentist. Do you have dental?
nope.
Okay, well that's different.
Oh yeah, and that's well that brings up a whole like it's just like I last time I went to the dentist, they were um the entire time they just accosted me the entire time,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it. I thought it was unprofessional, and I said I'm never going to go to the dentist ever again.
It's a very dentist thing. I know a friend of mine, she's a dental hygienist, and
Mm,
it's it's par for the course. That's what I
yeah,
would say.
so
It's
I haven't.
hey, can I be an asshole
Yeah,
for one part of this?
yeah, go ahead.
I Can you give it a try? Even
S-
if
So it's one of those things I've been. The thing is,
if you have insurance,
so the thing is that I can get insurance. I've talked to my father about it because my dad was in the military.
Yeah,
And there is one. I always forget what it's called, what the program is called, but I can get it through that because it counts for family as well.
yeah, it's
Um,
a veteran.
yeah, it's
Right.
but I've been talking to him about it. The
Yeah,
problem is that I need to find a new dentist because I refuse to go to the place where I was accosted.
yeah.
So then that opens up a whole new world of problems because then that goes back into the whole. I have to find it. I have to make sure that they're not going to be complete and utter tool bags. Um,
I meant
the
more for maybe dentist too, but maybe for your mental health.
oh yeah, I mean,
Um,
um,
I know that I'm overstepping the line right now,
go ahead, go ahead.
and I know I am, and I'm very sorry, and I hope you take it
Yeah, no, no, yeah,
okay.
I mean, yeah.
I think there is truth to holding yourself back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part of the whole cycle is that you gotta if you refuse all help, then you are holding yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you try therapy for, I think 3 months is like a minimum to see any difference. And after that 3 months, and it doesn't work for you, or if you see someone else and you're like, this isn't doing anything, then like maybe it's not meant for you. But like I
Yeah,
mean, even a year ago, I was in therapy,
yeah.
and I it doesn't do anything for everyone, but like, do you seem like someone that you don't talk about this often, and it seems to be helping you right now?
I I talk to certain people,
Yeah.
because, like I said, I've talked to people before, like friends, and I've
Yeah.
had them literally just to tell me to shut the fuck up. Like like I had one person tell me basically to shut the fuck up. Like they're sick and tired of hearing me always constantly complaining, you know, like that sort of thing.
Bug 'em.
Didn't go as far to say, just fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
But like right up to that wall.
Bug 'em.
Um, oh yeah, no, I don't talk to that person anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I mean like there's people that there's people like I said, there's people that I open up to a lot more than others.
Mhm.
Um, and that's just
If
it's a security blanket thing for me, where like I like it's almost kind of like a weakness thing as well. Like I don't want this person to know everything, you know, like
and that's you're not releasing everything, and that's
mhm,
part of it.
yeah.
And
So like different, like it's it's kind of funny. It's kind of fucked up. Certain people know certain things.
yeah.
I'm always a big one that not a whole lot of people know everything, but there's enough to know. So like, there's one person that they know a lot.
Mhm.
Um, there's one person that they know very specific set of things, like that sort of thing. Um, but like opening up to them, like recently, um, like I said, the person I talked to all day, um, I've said to her, before, like, hey, like, I don't know what the fuck, I would have done this past year if it wasn't, for having you here and being able to talk to you and
Right.
like that sort of thing. So like some stuff like that is very good, and I have thought about, um,
You wanna know what's also really good?
mm,
Is that talking to someone that owes you nothing,
exactly,
and that is because like, these people care about you, and,
mm,
like, they want the best for you. They're also most likely not gonna be like, "Hey, man, don't do that," or
yeah,
whatever, or this or that. They're not gonna, like, contradict, they're, like, gonna be like, "I'm with you."
mm,
It's good to talk to someone that's like, "Hey, what you're doing is not the best thing to be doing,"
oh yeah, I mean,
or this or that, which you also know, but, like, is also they're this is something they do. And you know what? I probably overstepped my
no,
like, I
I
o
mean, I mean, it's one of those things where like you can say that you may have overstepped. I fully, and it's one of those things where it's like I said, I I'm a man of what I say. Like, you said, I might be doing this, and I said, nope, go ahead. If I say, like I said, if I say that, I mean, go ahead. You know, if you want to be like, look, I'm gonna fucking set you up an appointment. Like that
yeah,
sort of
it's
thing.
different.
Yeah, but no,
So,
you're
my
like,
thing is that, like, unless you've exhausted all options,
mhm,
then you're really not trying to get better.
yeah, and that's
I've
kind
looked
of
into shock therapy. I've looked into ketamine therapy. I tried to get into shock therapy to get me better a year ago, and that's why I want to go to therapy again,
from
and they wouldn't approve it. And
from.
it sounds so like barbaric to call it shock therapy,
But yeah,
but
it's
it
yeah.
but
What
it's
what
not
what
quite
what
that.
what else are you gonna call it?
Yeah, but it's called electrotherapy. So it's
Yeah,
electro something, but it not shock is nowhere in
it's
the word anymore.
I th-
But
I think
um,
like for me, it's one of those
yep.
things where and I've said it like a couple times. Like I know that there's something wrong. I know
Mhm.
there's definitely uh it's not right. Um,
My biggest thing is address it.
so
Don't
my that
push it aside.
so I normally try to push stuff aside just because if I address it, it becomes real, and if it becomes real, then there's a problem with me that I now I'm seeing more
There's
than
no
I already.
problem with you, man.
Well, and that's the thing is I already see enough problems and enough I have enough problems with self hate as it is,
Mhm.
and it's one of those things where um there was a year where I lost 100 pounds and I was doing great. Like I
Yeah.
was feeling good. I was like mentally doing great, feeling good.
Mhm.
And then in the following year, I was like, what? I kind of just, I want to work on getting my brain fully good. And that was probably the worst year that I've ever had. And I was like
You know,
purposely trying.
Sometimes your body's ready and your
and
mind's
that's the
not.
thing, right?
Sometimes your mind's ready and your body's not.
And that's I like I do want to make a conscious effort, but like for me, there's that weird thing of if I admit it, then it's actually real, which
Mhm.
terrifies me more than anything.
There
And like
hey,
that's
there's nothing wrong with you. I
well,
wanna
that's
point that out.
well, that's the thing,
There's no
right? Is like
there's things that you can do better with, but there's nothing wrong with you.
yeah,
Like, you are a good person. I really like you,
I appreciate
and
that. I don't know
not that
why you
that
like
means
me, but
anything, but,
see, that's the
um
like that right there. That's me, diffusing an awkward,
yeah, no,
that
but, like, really, like, I might as well be an outsider. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you are you, and, like, it's very I'm channeling Mr. Rogers. Like, you are who you are. Like, you don't like, who cares about everything else?
yeah. Well, that's
Like,
like because of
you
course
are the
people,
best version you may not be the best version of you, but you can be,
yeah, and
and, like
we've been going on this for like an hour 50 now, almost 2 hours just on this. Um, but I guess another thing, just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, was that um, shit, I forgot what I was fucking saying.
so, my name is Tyler, and I live my life as an apprentice electrician.
There we go. So
Uh
my life, my life as a. This is a section brought to us by the wonderful Dana. Dana came up with this.
Shout
Yep, shout out to Dana. This she came up with this idea on, I think it was on her second podcast, on the second time she was on it. Um, she came up with this idea, and I've been running it ever since. I just asked person beforehand if it's okay if we talk about it. So Tyler, your life as a.
I'm an apprentice electrician.
Okay.
I, if you don't know anything about that, to become an electrician, you have to go through a work apprenticeship for 4 years, and you have to go to school for 4 years.
hmm The school for
So
4 years I did not know actually.
yep.
Okay.
So I go to school 2 nights a week for the last 4 years. Uh,
Is it a
yes,
trade or is it
a trade school,
okay?
yes. But right now I'm in Zoom class
Okay.
'cause, shouts out to the Pandy, woo woo, and, so I go to school Tuesday, Thursdays, 6 to 9
Okay.
from September to May,
Okay.
and this is my last year. So,
Nice. So at the end of the so you said so you have to do that for 4 years, and then you said you have to
I need to accrue 2,000 hours of work time,
okay.
8,000 hours of work time, which is 2,000 hours a year,
hmm
which it equates to, 50 weeks
Okay.
of the year, and then I need 150 hours a year of classroom time.
Okay.
So, I'm behind on my work hours just because the nature of my job has changed a little bit at work.
hmm
So I work at a big a university,
Yep.
and um, I'm a facilities electrician. So a lot of my stuff has to do with life safety. I do a lot of fire alarm. I do a lot of any inspections. I have to inspect smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, fire alarm systems. I have to troubleshoot those, and that's not necessarily in the realm of electricians.
Yep.
Because I'm in New Hampshire. In New Hampshire, you do not have to be licensed to work on a fire alarm system,
Oh, okay.
whereas in Massachusetts, you have to have a fire alarm license, which
Uh,
is 2 years to get that. So, um, the nature of my job has changed because I've taken on more responsibility, but now accrue less electrician time, which is not the happiest about it, but it is what it is. So I'm behind about 6 months. So when I'm done school, I have to work for another 6 months
hmm
until I can so become right now I'm an apprentice electrician, and the next stage is a journeyman electrician,
Yep.
which is a licensed electrician, and you take in a exam for that. And then the next stage beyond that is a master electrician, which you can test for after another year working as a journeyman electrician.
Interesting. So
So
what is the so I guess like for instance like I know
Mhm.
One of the kids that went to the high school that I coached, he
You're talking
works,
about him, yeah.
yeah, in Vermont. One of the kids that went to the high school, I coached him. He now works for an electrician company
Mhm.
here. Um, I know him. I've seen him. He comes around the building doing work every now and then. Um, so my question is that what you're doing? Like, are you working for a company like right now? Like a
So no, I work at Southern New Hampshire University.
okay,
I'll say it. I don't care. Don't blow up my spot.
hmm
Uh, I work for the university.
okay,
I'm an in-house electrician.
okay.
Um, we
S-
have 38 buildings on campus, and
mhm,
then we have a couple satellite areas that we also work on
Okay.
in Maine, Mass, and New Hampshire.
So now, do you have to go to those areas sometimes?
They are starting to send us there, yeah.
Nice. So
So,
then so now my question then is, when you're done, so you're done with the schooling almost.
yep.
When you're done with the hours, what's the game plan then? Are you going to open up shop?
So that's part of the problem with New Hampshire is I can get my journeyman uh I can become a journeyman electrician,
Okay.
but there's almost no difference between what I am now and that in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I'm licensed. I can do unauthorized work more or less. It still has to be authorized by a master electrician. But if I was in Massachusetts, I could be doing my own work. I can't pull a permit in New Hampshire.
Mm,
So like say you had a house in New Hampshire
okay.
and you wanted me to like come do work on your house.
Okay.
And I legally could not do work on your house even as a journeyman.
Hmm.
You would have to hire my boss who's a master, and then I can go do work there.
Oh, okay.
But if
Okay.
I was a master, I can do that. But also in mass, so a mass, I could do that as a journeyman.
hmm
But in order to own a business in
You
Massachusetts,
have to be a
to
master.
have more than one employee, I would have to be a master because a
Okay.
master in New Hampshire is a working license. The master in Massachusetts is a business license.
Interesting.
So it's
So,
different state to state.
so then is the game plan to get to that stage, like to get to the highest, or
My game plan is to get my journeyman electrician license,
okay?
and then I'm gonna move to Tennessee. I'm fucking
Oh,
done with this area.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't blame
So
you.
and then
Don't
transfer my
blame you.
license out there.
Heard a lot of people moving there. Tennessee,
Uh,
Carolina area.
yep.
Okay. So,
Um,
so I assume then you've already looked at what it's like there for.
yes. It's cost of living is down. The average wage is about the same.
Mhm,
It's warmer. There's enough work. The union doesn't have a strong hold in that area.
mhm.
Um, the union's weak there, so I can work as a normal contractor without any really issues. And that's and I love what I do, and it's really a big part of we talked about mental health for the
Mhm.
last 2 hours. It's like
Yeah.
that was a very big part of it was that I felt very stuck with my life for a long time,
Mhm.
and I was able to get this opportunity, and
Yeah, fuck. I mean, that's the thing is like if you have it, fucking take it. As your
yep,
elder,
yep,
by a couple years,
thank
fucking
you.
take it. I like it was one of those things. I went from telling the kids like, look, like go to college, go to college. Like 2 years of doing that, and then immediately I was like, look, fucking, are you playing? Are you planning on playing collegiate sports? No, go to fucking trade school
Mhm.
because
I
it's
actually when I left, continue. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
well, like my thing was like the area that I'm in is dead.
Yeah.
There's down the street that is here every year. There's at least two stores that will open, and those same two stores will close,
Yep.
and then one store that's already there will close. Like that's just how it is. Like
Yeah. Never.
we're a college town we're a college with technically a college town with no bars.
Sick.
The bar that was in our building, we actually had a bar in the basement of our building. We actually got rid of them because they were douchebags. Um, but so there's no reason to really be here. So
Nope.
any one of the kids that like I've ever coached or I've talked to, I've told every one of them to get the fuck out of here, move it fucking as far away as you fucking can. And some of them do, and the ones that don't, they're part of the family ones, which every town has that family where it's like, this trucking or
They're fine.
this,
They're
yeah,
fine. They have nothing to
they're,
worry about.
yeah, exactly. It's the legacy of the town, it's the legacy of the company. Like they're good, everything's golden. Um,
Yeah.
but I started telling a lot more kids to go into trade school stuff because it's like I was about to say, no matter what, you're gonna have there's gonna be someone out in Tennessee that needs an electrician.
Oh, anywhere.
It's like
It's just
it's.
that there's rural areas is that it's similar to that trucking thing,
Mhm,
is that there are people that have a hold of the area.
mhm,
So, like, I live in Southern New Hampshire, and it's who cares? It's open ground.
yeah.
But if I were to move an hour north, like where my sister lives and my mom live,
Oh yeah, it's this company.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
a bunch of small companies that control everything. So it'd be very hard for me to go up there. Um, and so I things are very good. And it's given me a lot of purpose in my life, and I feel fucking lame for saying that, but
Well, I
it
mean, no, I mean, no, you shouldn't. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it's no one ever is very. What I mean from the phrase, because it's not no one. Very rarely ever you're gonna find someone that's like, I want to be an electrician or I want to be a plumber. But then you eventually get those people that like their life falls that way and they're happy for it. And that's what it sounds like with you. It sounds like your life fell that way,
so
and
after I left school and I
mhm,
was trying to figure my shit out, I tried to actually get a plumbing apprenticeship, but it was still remnants of the 2008 recession because this was in 2011,
okay,
and my aunt was actually the first female master plumber in the state, and she was a state plumbing inspector for until she retired.
well, damn.
So she was very much pushing for me to do this. And she has a college degree. She has a college degree in phys ed, and that didn't pan out. So she actually did this. And so she pushed for me to do this because she was like, "You're fucking lost. You need to do something." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And
You right, you right.
you're right. And then like I did a lot of odd jobs. Like I worked at a golf course.
Mhm.
I was a city worker and did landscaping. Um, I worked at a ski hill for a few years. I worked at a gas station for a year. I worked as a courier driver. I
Jeez,
kinda bounced around trying to figure out something to do,
see,
and then,
there's days when I kind of wish that I had that though, like that sort of
it's
thing,
good. You
because I left college and wasn't know what I was going to do because I didn't fully
Mhm.
graduate. Um,
Shout out.
yeah, thanks to my great advisor for telling me that I did what I needed to graduate, and then 2 days before graduation told me I didn't. Um, I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I was like, "Hey, like, can I come work for like the company that my dad works for?" I was like, "Hey, do you guys mind if I like come do some work here and there, like odd stuff every now and then?"
Yep.
And they were like, "No, you worked in high school here. Fuck it, why not?" And I
Yeah.
just kind of got lucky, and that's where I still am. And now I'm on salary. So like, it's one of those things where it's like I'm kind of glad to hear that you've gotten to a point now where you're like, fuck this place. I can actually I know I can do this. I know I can go. I can do this
Yep.
because like I'm at a point right now where it's like if I told you how much my rent costs, you'd probably be fucking shocked. Um,
In a good way or bad way?
Good way, very good way.
Okay.
Um, the fact that I'm on salary now, the fact that I do what I want in my job,
Yep.
like these things have just made it so now I'm in a stuck position, basically.
Mhm. Yep.
So, but that's awesome though. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well with that.
So and it's not like I was a bum and floating around a bunch of different jobs. I was, like, literally like, "What am I gonna do with my life?" And
Hmm.
so, like, I found my career. I had like, I'm, like, pretty happy, but,
Yeah, I mean that's
there's
I
good
mean
days
like,
and bad days.
and that's the thing, right? Like the thing that goes back to the kind of because of course the whole conversation I feel like has been tied back to the mental health in every single facet. But it goes back to
Yeah.
that. It's the whole thing of like it's like us having our own self-made ideas of what we were supposed to do and the whole career thing, right? Because it's no one that's ever been like, you know what, I want my true career to be working at McDonald's for the rest of my life. But that
So some
we
people like that.
there's some people, but we know a lot of
I know
people
you
that
like that.
um,
We expect more than what we
like
get for a lot of people.
like I was expecting to leave college, go coach college football. Within a year or two of coaching college football, find a wife, get a house, settle down, and then at the end of my coaching career, come back to the hometown and coach for the hometown team. That was my whole
Very
thing.
American dream.
That was my whole thing, right? What
Yeah.
happened? I didn't graduate. I came home, got shit lucky that they needed a coach at the high school, got a coaching job at the high school while doing a community college, finally got my degree, coached for another 7 years, was let go, and now I'm still at the place that I was working full time while coaching, and I stream. And I built a nice little community here with, people that I love, and, I'm happy and surprised that people come and watch.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
So, I mean,
Hey,
it's.
even you just out right now is you have plenty to be thankful for, and it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
necessarily
100%.
things to be happy about. It is at the same time, but,
Mhm.
like, accepting things that, like, good that come your way is a huge part of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's also one of those things where, like, I posted a meme up in someone's chat. It's like, things are going well. Things are going too well. And it's like the brain pressing a self destruct button.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you
that,
sent that to me, actually.
I think I did send it to you. But, like,
Yeah.
that shit, though, like, that is 100%. Like, it's like, I've had 3 days of really good luck.
What's gonna happen?
Something bad's gonna happen, and then something bad happens, and it's like I fucking knew this was gonna happen, you know.
You're like,
Um,
it's like that, it's also the meme of, like, the person biking along, and they throw a stick
yeah,
in their spoke, and they're like, "You fucking piece of shit."
um, I'm glad to hear though that you are work wise that you are doing well. You found something that you like, and that you have a plan. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and,
I always want, I always want the best. I always want more and the best for my friends than I want for myself. So.
here's a selfish thing. Do I seem like the same person you met 10 years ago? It's so long ago, but I was so in self you probably don't even remember. I was so like, that's the part of the thing is, like, I was such a fucking piece of I was, like, in the corner. I was like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say because I feel like I know you more now.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the thing is, over this time, I spent more time with
you've
you then than I have now,
oh yeah, I mean
and
you
that's a big thing is that, like, you will change once you
exactly. I
get
mean I
better.
feel like you've I feel like when you came to Norwich, you weren't really sure who you were,
No, no,
and I feel like you now know who you are.
and I was on heavy antidepressants.
Yeah, so I mean,
Shout out to the meds.
shout out to the meds. Um,
Um,
but
yeah.
I mean, I can ask you the same thing, and you'd probably give
Um, no, I remember you being a super confident, happy guy.
yeah. And now I'm a super depressed, not confident guy.
No, it's
No, I mean I just yeah.
nope, super still pretty confident. You still put that energy out.
I do my best. I
That's
always
all you can
go.
do.
I always go back to the. Speaking of not movies but TV shows, Vikings.
Mhm.
One of the last seasons with Ragnar in it. He says, like he says, I'm tired, and Lagertha goes, well, it was a long ride, and he goes, not in the saddle, in the mind. And as soon as that line was said, I've never resonated with a line as much as I have that,
Mhm.
because I'm like,
You're young, dude. You're
yeah, I
32.
mean that's the thing, right? Is it's like I'm young, I'm 32, and it's like I feel so fucking old, and I just mentally I'm just fully drained all the time. I feel
You want to go ahead, sir.
well, no, I just yeah, that's where I was ending.
You know what I'm doing? I'm building my dad's house is
Hmm.
a mile from my work.
Okay.
I'm building a home gym in his garage
Ooh.
because I'm so anxious that I haven't been able to go to the gym in years, and I'm such a fat piece of shit, shout out to me, that I'm building a home gym so I can go like, I have a squat rack, I have plates, have put in, like, a real gym
Hmm.
in my dad's garage so, like, I can actually work out and, like, because that was such a huge part of my life for many
So
years, and
my
I've just
fun story with that. My boss actually put a gym in our basement of the
oh,
building.
cool.
Yep, because we do a lot of work with China, and the China company that we work with has a gym on site. And my boss was like, "That's cool. We're gonna do that," and nobody fucking
Mhm.
uses it.
Yeah.
So I will be using it at some point here within the next
Mhm.
little bit. It's going to be for some YouTube stuff, so I'm going to keep it a little hush hush. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. I'm kind
So,
of
like,
excited.
that's something that, like, my anxiety
Mm.
outweighed and me dealing not being able to deal with people's comments that I stopped doing, and, like, I need to do it because like, I wanna fucking live at this point, and, like, I can't let myself fall apart, you know? So,
Oh yeah, I like
uh
for me it goes through the um like I hate my body. I've always hated my body. I think the best time I've ever liked my body was senior year in Norwich. I was 290.
yeah,
And I felt fucking great. My senior year, I felt like I was a fucking stud. But I've never been able to get anywhere close to that since. Um, that feeling, let me put it like that, because that weight I've gotten to, but that feeling I've never. But like now, like yeah, like I go to the store and I come back and I'm fucking winded, and it's one of those things where like I up until the something happened to the gym. I won't say what happened, but something happened to the gym, and I wasn't able to actually use it. I had a full plan,
yeah.
and now the gym is starting to come back around, and it's like everything's getting sorted. Now it's like okay, now we can get this shit going again because I have a
Let's go.
yes, I have a plan, and it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Good, man. That's, I'm on same page. I haven't told I've told, like, 2 people.
Mm.
I literally have a 45-pound barbell next to my desk right now.
Let's go.
I have another barbell behind me. I have, like, a rogue weight bench. I have a rogue squat rack in my hallway.
so
Like, I have like,
so
I'm fine.
I have a 6 foot wide by I think it's like 12 foot long yoga mat in my kitchen
Mm, yeah,
and a TV with
yeah.
DDP yoga. What's up, DDP yoga? Um,
The wrestler?
yep,
Okay.
yep. Um, I bought that plan like 2 3 years ago, and I lost 100 pounds within a year,
Good shit.
and it was
Also,
like
I can't do the splits. I never, addressed that. I can't do them anymore.
you can't. That's unfortunate.
I
We, we,
I lost
we get you back there. We
up
get you.
until, like, 3 years ago, I could, but I stopped working out.
Yeah, we
I
get you
stopped
back
doing
there.
everything. I'll get there.
Yeah, we get you back there. But yeah, no, man. Thank you for
Oh, of
coming
course,
on.
man. I
This
appreciate you
was,
having me.
yeah, this was, like I said, I like, when we were talking, I said, we kind of wanted to get, we got a little emotional at points. We got deep into, some shit that, people steer away from. Had some fun.
Not taboo.
Yeah. And
No, thank you for having me.
I think overall this was very good for both of us.
Yeah.
I like using the word cathartic.
Cathartic's a good term.
It's a good word, right? Sounds good.
Mm,
Sounds good as well.
cathartic.
Cathartic. I appreciate you coming on though. I really do.
Oh, man, thank you.
I was glad that I was able to get you to come on. So
Anytime, man.
so I will be leaving a link to your Twitch in the description down below. Everybody go check my dude DeNutte out. A lot of fun. He plays a lot of different games. And it's always a blast being in there, hanging out with him. Is there anything that you would like to say to kind of wrap this up?
Uh, don't ignore your feelings. If you wanna dance, you should dance.
Yeah, there you go. So, depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, still trouble, stay safe, and we will talk to you all later. Bye.